Are you on, Dean?
Yeah, mate. We're live as well, buddy. I've just got a little bit of background music playing at the moment.
Oh, right, I can't hear anything.
Oh, right. Sorry, mate. Yeah, we are actually live. I've just, it's not loud actually. It's quite low. I was just trying to get to. I've got a couple of screens open. I'm just trying to find out what the hell's going on.
So I'm just trying to bring this. Right, I'm sure I'll find it.
I can't find it myself.
What's that? You can't find your show?
Yeah. Oh, I've got it. I found it. It's not what I'm trying to do. It's pause. I'm just trying to get to. I've got a couple of screens open. I'm just going to post underneath
Okay.
the link straight to this in the description box. That's the link out to it now.
Right, I can't even find the video. I like to have it on because I do dip into chat quite often. So, oh, there we are. It might just be on YouTube.
Is the link? Do you know any about box underneath? The description box is the.
I'm actually in. Hold on. Because I am. Where am I? Right. I am. It's right. If I go into that. Be here, won't it? No.
I'll get there in a minute. I've just got to edit this. The live channel while we're doing it at the moment. You might hear a double feed for a split second.
I thought you could post the link.
For some reason, it's just not letting me put the description in it. Ah, is the description working now, Peter? Is it?
Hi guys.
Hi, Peter. Cheers, mate.
Link's working.
Well,
I wasn't
yeah,
sure whether it's gone through or not. I was just struggling to pass it over. Though. It was.
Yeah, you have to refresh the YouTube page to get it on.
Ah, right. I see. So, what's actually struck you this week, Peter? Have you got anything?
Anything in particular? I don't know.
No.
Well, we haven't really talked about it. Well, we wanted to go into the little speech Christine Lagarde made. I don't know if you guys catch that.
I actually missed that one, Peter. I'm sorry. It's just been, like I said, it's been a bit hectic for me this week.
Yeah, you'll have to watch it. I cannot screen share from you because you don't get any audio. But good.
what? Sorry, what was that, Peter? What was the?
Well, Christine Lagarde is the head of the IMF.
Oh, right. Okay.
So she's very important. And she did a whole speech on numerology and the number 7.
Oh, right. Okay.
The significance about it, and well, there are some hints dropped to a certain date, and that's coming in 9 days, where there might be a coming crisis or something like that. So everybody's looking at the 20th of July now.
I mean, I am aware that. So basically, she was saying that there's a coming crisis.
Mm-hmm.
because I am aware that a load of top like economists and market
Where there might
traders
be
have been discussing all kinds of stuff like that.
Peter, have you seen anything along the lines with this Obama pressing for a nuclear false flag? Have you seen anything along the lines?
no.
I've seen a little bit. I've not seen a lot. But apparently, it's just like, you know, when you're skimming through, you come across videos.
Hmm.
Come across this one, and I looked at a couple of other videos he did, but he's on about he's giving the go-ahead for a nuclear strike in America.
Right.
Obviously, there is a
Who
lot
knows?
of bullshit that you got to sift through and all that. But at the moment,
Well,
look,
there is currently the ISIS terrorist supposedly got hold of some nuclear material.
yeah.
So that's yeah.
I mean, that's what I mean. It's like if you look at that as well, it's like subconsciously they've been
Yeah,
pushing this
hammering that
agenda.
in for years now. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been pushing this agenda where it's been a truck being stolen here, there's a truck being stolen there. Do you know what I mean? They've been like sort of like, oh, this truck's ended up here now. It's
The attack using a dirty bomb is something a lot has been a lot used in TV series like 24 and movies, so it's also in the mainstream
I mean,
media. I'll post a link of the to the Lagarde video. It also does a little explanation on what she's saying, but it's bizarre to see ahead of IMF talk numerology.
yeah,
Because when we talk about it, it's all hey, tinfoil hat with your 33
yeah.
and your number 11, and you know. But when she does it, it's all fine, you know. And she goes pretty deep.
I've got to admit, I have got a couple of channels subscribed to where they do actually do all the numerology and the planetary alignment and things like that. But I'll hold my hand up. It's way above my head where they go.
Maybe you can screen share it. It's not that long. It's a couple of minutes, and it's very interesting. It's funny to watch. It's in the chat, the Hangout chat.
Well, I'm just right. Chat
I'm pretty sure Dace would love this stuff because he's into this more than I am.
I'm just wondering whether my whether I'm going to have to switch me doofer back on my audio card if I get the sound through as well. So there might be a little bit of background noise because my audio card's on. Right, I've got the link, so what I'll try it through the Hangout YouTube one and see if that'll let me play it. Should do, but it's not set up right at the moment at my end. Well, I've just cocked up. Got way too many pages open. Just shut some pages down and I'll be with you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worry, man. No worry.
I always say that when you've got too many pages open in your browser, it shows that you've either been doing a lot of research or you're creating something.
Well, I've just
because like I'm terrible for it. Some days, I'm not kidding, I can have at least 50 pages open in Chrome, like just where I'm either grabbing images, information, or whatever. It's just crazy.
Right, I should have it in a second. Sorry about that. not to jump onto what you've just been saying, but I've just shut 12 pages down.
Even now, I've probably got about 15, 20 pages open. I don't know why they're all open. No, it's normally just stuff, bits and pieces.
Right, I think. No, that's not it. What's going on? Oh, I had it though. Sorry about this.
You have to turn on screen share, Dean.
Yeah, that's going to be easier, isn't it? Right.
Well, you have to, I think.
Yeah, I'll do that. What I need to shut the. I've got music playing in the background as well, so I'll just shut that page down. It's on really low. It's what I go to sleep with at night. Right, I'll say that then. Right, I shall now screenshot. Can you see that?
Not yet, it takes a while.
Just give us a shout when you see it, Peter, and I'll play it, see if you can.
It says you're sharing something, but I can't see anything.
Right. Fall back to the. Way too much stuff open at the moment. What was that phone?
I can try and play it, but I don't think the audio comes through. Try.
Have you got headphones in, Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely not. Then.
No.
Because you're bypassing it, aren't you? You're bypassing your, if you like, your microphone.
Right.
If that kind of makes sense. So.
Yeah.
You usually get this straight away, but I've changed browsers as well, so that's making it a little bit hard for me.
And when I use that YouTube app, it also doesn't work because that only works in the. Only we can see that. It's not broadcasting.
Right, hopefully I should have the screen share with you now. Right.
Just hit play and see if we can hear something, maybe.
There you go. You got that now? You should have that now. I can hear music and I'm not sure where it's coming from. Because I've shut everything down and it's a bit strange because I've got it playing in the background and I keep thinking it's my computer. But it's not. Right, have you got my screen share now?
No.
No. What's going on here? I've screen shared what the link you just gave me.
Mm-hmm. See the screen share icon on the. I can see you're sharing, and now you turn it off.
Right. Oh, right. Hang on. I know why it's a blank screen. Have you got that now? You should have a black screen in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just tell me if that's coming through, please.
Yeah, I can see a black screen right now.
No, I don't mean the black screen. I mean the whole video.
No video.
So the video's not coming through. I don't know what's going on.
Not a problem.
I Daisy's screen. I can't see anything else.
If you click on Dean's name, you can see what he's sharing, but he's sharing a
It's
black
on
screen right now.
YouTube.
It is on YouTube. People can watch it.
And I thought I had to stand up.
I can hear it now.
I needed Professor to sit down and clearly I failed.
I can
I
hear
think
it.
it's only showing when I speak, I'm not sure.
I would like to thank the National Press Club and especially President Angela Grilling for not
And the audio is really faint, so I can hear something, but I cannot understand it.
So it's as if we had prepared that together, which we have not.
So
So
hopefully.
let me first of all, of course, begin by wishing you all a happy new year. I guess it's still time to do that, given that we are just exactly.
I'll just play it at the moment until I get you sorted. Can you see it?
New year.
No.
No.
I think it's also appropriate
Oh,
to give ourselves
no.
a happy new year, given what I would like to talk to you about, which has to do with the global economy and what we should expect for 2000.
The old card down earlier.
Numerology skills, but asking you to think about the magic 7. Okay?
I'm struggling to get it back started because everything's running at the moment.
All sorts of themes, religions, and
I know what I did.
compressment.
It's just come to me now what I did earlier. Right. I turned my recording volume down.
Ooh.
Yeah. Right, you should hear it now. Right.
If we think about 2014,
Can you hear that?
It's the same.
It's the same.
we dropped the 0, 14,
What's going on?
let's just go working down.
Yeah, see, it's not that easy. What
It's not what we like.
what Kip's doing.
No, it's not that. It's see, I have it all set up ready before I come live, and it's just that extra little bit of pressure while you're live. It sort of like starts tripping you up, and you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Right, hang on. I know what I didn't do. I've not changed me microphone in me Google account as well. This is. I just can't understand what's.
You cannot turn the. Let's turn it louder so we can hear it better. Because it's what she said. I don't have to see her. It's what she's saying.
It's up full at the moment, but
Could
I
you
seem to have.
get your mic a little closer, maybe?
I seem to have some music coming from a different channel that isn't showing
Oh.
for some reason. I can hear classical music in the background,
Okay.
which is what I usually listen to, but I cannot find a page that's open with classical music on, but it's actually coming out of my surround system. This is what's confusing me, because I've got, you should actually be seeing what I'm looking at because I've got screen share on, and I don't know why that's not showing. But according to this, I've only got 3 pages open, but there's actually another page open somewhere that I cannot find playing classical music. And this is why you're not getting the audio from the video I'm playing.
Oh god, what have you got? I'm so used to using a Mac. Have you got a normal Windows machine?
I'm on Windows 7 Professional.
Okay, you should have, I can't even remember how to do it on Windows. You know your browser? You can either open a tab or open a window. It sounds to me like you've got a window open that's separate from all the tabs that you have open. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're on about, Steve, because I do actually work that way. I've got two windows on. One with the chat room on this. One with the video that I was going to screen share and the Google account, but I've still got the classical music in the background without it open. Do you understand me now?
Yeah, very, very odd indeed.
Extremely odd. I mean,
how do you normally play your classical music? Through iTunes or an MP3 player?
No, it's just through one of my YouTube account.
Okay.
Subscribe. I mean, I'll turn it up.
Whoa.
See what I mean?
Classical.
No. That sounded like that Back to the Future movie.
You see, I'm actually stuck because I can't shut everything down and start again because I'm hosting.
Yeah, no, you cannot do that.
So I'm knackered. I'll try and work on it. I'm actually trying to work on it while we're speaking. But
I tell you what to do. This may help. Go into your settings and do a quick clear cache and browser and all the internet data because I've noticed before that mine's got stuck and it's playing a video that isn't even open. If you go and clear all the browsing history and the cache, it may just wipe it from it. Just a theory.
Have you got a Google Plus page open? No, huh?
I'm just going to mute this a minute, just to make sure it isn't my next door neighbour. And if it is, I'm going to look as well. But just give me a second.
Silent.
It fucking is. It's coming from a bastard fucking. Where is it fucking coming from? Oh shit! I'm not muted either. Shit! Sorry about that.
No, it's going from somewhere. I don't know. We cannot hear it. I cannot hear anything.
Yeah.
I can. So it's sort of messing with my audio card, so I can't play the video that you want me to play. It's really doing my head in now. How's that? Speak to me. No. You probably hear it now, actually.
Can.
You can hear it now.
Yeah, just very faint though.
But the thing is, right, it's saying it's open on Internet Explorer, yeah? All I've got open now, I've shut everything down apart from the Google Hangout.
So reopen Internet Explorer, leave the cache on that, and then close it. Try that.
I've not got Internet Explorer open.
What are you using then? Chrome?
Yeah.
Press Ctrl Delete.
This is what I've been going through for days, man. My computer's just been going crazy.
I was going to say, be careful on your shortcuts, because chances are you'll end up closing the whole thing down.
It's Ctrl Delete or Ctrl Escape. One of those two.
I think both shut down your computer.
No, it's also something in the fucking Chrome.
I can't even refresh the Google Hangout.
Oh, what's that?
This is strange. I've never ever come across this before. I just don't understand where it's coming from. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut the audio card and try that. See if that does it.
Yeah, but then we cannot hear you anymore.
You will do. It's only me. It's. I've got there's two audio cards. There's one built in and there's one I put in. So this is the one. The one I put in. I'm going to shut down. But it's gone. No, it's not. It's still there. I can hear it. Stereo audio mix. Set as default. Nope.
What was that? Was that in Firefox? No.
I don't understand what's going on here at all. How's that?
I can still hear you, but
You can hear me. I've just all I've done is I've just turned volume up on Internet Explorer because I cannot find the page. It is not showing on my PC. Full stop. It's just not showing, and I do not know where the hell it is coming from. I remember starting the page. My mistake. I know where it is.
Yeah, you've been saying that a couple of times now.
It's probably.
Otherwise, could you do it, Stevie?
I've got it. I've just found it. What a prick.
I was going to say, it's probably just a music file playing.
It isn't. Do you know what it is?
It's his phone. It's his wife calling.
What is it?
It was the actual you know, the app on the Google Hangout. The actual last place I actually thought of looking. It was on that.
Okay.
I didn't know. For some reason, I can't copy and paste your link. But you just passed me. I'll get there in a second. Just give me a couple of seconds.
Just click on it.
I have done, but I've tried to copy and paste it over to the YouTube. I've got it. I'm having a bad technical night. Usually bang on with this, Pete, I know.
Yeah.
Right, what I got out of that link you've just given me is 4-minute What's Your Name dance. No, that isn't fucking it. No, just forget that.
It's a Christine Lagarde reveals a Cabal event.
Yeah, I've got you now. Right. Can you see my screen share?
Let me.
Yay, I can see.
Yay, we can see something, yeah.
Thank you. Right, just tell me you can hear the volume. Sorry about that, it's just I've got to do a lot of messing about to get to this stage. Just tell me you can hear the volume now.
That takes a while before audio comes.
Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. As you can tell, I do as I'm told.
Can you turn it up a bit?
I had to stand up at the time when I needed to necessarily sit down, and clearly I failed. Without for having me with you, I would like to thank the National Press Club and especially President Angela Rowley-King for not only inviting me to this prestigious venue, but essentially presenting the outline of what I want to talk to you about now. So it's as if we had prepared that together, which we have not. Now let me first of all, of course, begin by wishing you all a happy New Year. I guess it's still time to do that, given that we are just exactly halfway through between our Western New Year and the Lunar New Year, which will remain time. I think it's also appropriate to wish ourselves a happy New Year, given what I would like to talk to you about, which has to do with the global economy and what we should expect for 2000. Now I'm going to test you numerology skills by asking you to think about the magic 7. Okay? Most of you will know that 7 is quite a number. And all sorts of themes, religions, and I'm sure that you can compress numbers as well.
We can't hear anything anymore.
There's no talking.
Oh, then there's a delay on the audio, but the audio is very faint still.
Right.
So it isn't like a direct feed or something. It's coming from your mic.
Yeah. Well, I've just...
Maybe you can turn that one up a bit, notch.
You should hear it nice and clear in a second.
Cool.
Just let me let me know what this sounds like, Peter.
So it's as if we had prepared that together, which we have not. Now let me first of all, of course, begin by wishing you a happy New Year. It's still time
that's
to
it.
that we are just exactly halfway through between our Western New Year and the Lunar New Year, which will loom in a few weeks' time. I think it's also appropriate to wish ourselves a happy New Year, given what I would like to talk to you about, which has to do with the global economy and what we should expect for 2014. Now I'm going to test you numerology skills by asking you to think about the magic 7. Okay? Most of you will know that 7 is quite a number in all sorts of themes, religions, and I'm sure that you can compress numbers as well.
You paused it.
No, Pete.
No, there's text showing. You can skip to the text.
If we think about 2014, all right, I'm just giving you 2014, you drop the 0, 14, 2 times 7. Okay, that's just by way of example, and we're going to carry on. So, if we think about 2014, all right, I'm just giving you 2014, you drop the 0, 14, 2 times 7.
So 1, 4. 2 plus 1 plus 4 is 7. You see now, what she said actually has double meaning. So listen up, she's sending a message to the elite. And that's a message is the date.
That's just by way of example, and we're going to carry on. So 2014 will be a milestone and hopefully a magic year in many respects. It will mark the 100th anniversary of the First World War
back in 1914. It will mark the 70th anniversary, drop the zero, of the Bretton Woods Conference that actually gave birth to the IMF. And it will be the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. 25th.
Notice how everyone in the crowd laughed at it said 70. But no one in the fact that 25 is also...
It will also mark the 7th anniversary of the financial market jitters that quickly turned into the greatest global economic calamity since the Great Depression.
Wait, what is this fucking riddle me read?
Optimism is in the air. We've left the deep...
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, what are you saying?
Is this middle... What?
It's
England?
Peter's pointed it towards us. It's
Where's the accountability? She should be in a fucking AMF.
Let's play it anyway.
I'm just... I only go, mate, sorry. She just said fucking... She seconds me, you know what I mean?
Just play it end of it and we'll have an outrage after it.
No bother.
behind us, and the horizon looks just a bit brighter. So my hope and my wish for 2014 is that after those 7 miserable years, weak and fragile, we have 7 strong years.
Number 7 is mentioned earlier.
Now, I don't know whether the G7 will have anything to do with it, or whether it will be the G20. I certainly hope that the IMF will have something to do with it. Now, I don't know whether the G7 will have anything to do with it, or whether it will be the G20. I certainly hope that the IMF will have something to do with it.
Yeah, they dropped the down to the G7 with Russia, didn't they, from the G8?
Yep. Yeah, but this is the head of the IMF talking about lunar shit and numerology and the Magic 7, which also relates to the 7 Sisters, which also relates to what she says, religion and all sorts of stuff. And she ties it into World War I, the creation of her own little IMF bank there, and what the video maker does is tie the G7 and the G20 together into a date, where it's 7/20/2014.
Yeah.
Which is 9 days. So I don't know. I'll keep an eye out, but that's not something that we can control or manipulate anyway. So I'll just keep an eye out on that date and see what happens. But it's just bizarre that high-ranking people like this talk this stuff.
Do you know what come to my mind straight away then? 7/7.
Mm-hmm.
Straight away, that come to my mind straight away. 7/7.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a buzzing feed up. I'm just trying to get rid of it while I'm talking to you.
It's a magic number.
Probably hear that now. I'm hopefully that's it. It's gone, and you should still be able to hear me clearly. Hopefully, can you? No.
You're still on screen share. I can hear you.
Oh right, thank God for that. Right, yeah. I've just switched my audio card off again. That's why. While I was.
No, we got a little feedback from your card.
Yeah, that's why I switched it off. Now we're getting a bit of a buzzing while we was talking amongst ourselves as well. Because what I usually do is, me and Days will get together beforehand, and I'll set everything up, so it's all nice and ready, just so I'm set up, so I know buttons I need to press and everything beforehand. That's why it usually goes quite smooth. But I was caught off hand tonight because I know I didn't post from the start like I usually do on a Friday evening. But it's what happens, isn't it? That's what shows it's true life. What we do, it's not always prepared. You get what you see. What you see is what you get. So you just have to.
Different shows are more prepared than others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different formats lend themselves to more preparation than others. This is just your social sort of thing, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is, I think, it's more enjoyable than somebody just ramming shite in your throat all the time.
It's funny because Google Hangouts, I've been noticing recently, has actually become very, very popular on YouTube. So many more people are doing it, and purely because of the fact that it's just straight up. You know, there's none of this preparation. There's none of this, hide stuff. And I mean, don't get me wrong, because sometimes if you're going to discuss something, you've got to prepare for it. You've got to have, notes there ready, blah blah blah. But this kind of platform offers that freedom not to be so prepared and just discuss what comes along, really.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was listening to you. I was actually dipping into the chat room at the same time. I've just look. I love trolls. I find them so funny, and I find them so childish and immature. I don't know, there's no words for them at all, is there? There's just none whatsoever. I just don't understand where they come from, where they get the kicks, and nothing me at all. Sorry about that. But yeah, go on, Steve, what were you saying, buddy?
Oh, better unmute yourself first. No, I was just saying that yeah, Google Hangout does just offer that kind of freedom, that unpreparedness, and I think a lot of people appreciate that because it's just more open and straight rather than because when this was something that I always sat there with my stuff is I used to prepare and then sort of have an have an auto cue, but read it from if you like an auto cue, and I lost my personality, and I hated that. I hated the fact that went, and I think that's the good thing about Google Class is you can't have all that, and it's also, if you prepare that kind of stuff, you can then excuse me, you can create it so you have an agenda. Do you see what I mean? Everybody, doesn't matter who, whatever you're doing, everybody has an agenda. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you're doing, even not the no agenda show has an agenda not to have an agenda. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do understand what you mean.
And so, yeah, like a Google...
I've never actually looked at it that way before. That's a really good point, actually. When you prefer it could be an agenda. I've never looked at it that way before. See, you learn things every time,
Yeah, and like I say, when you do prepare and stuff, it makes it easier to have that agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas if it's just open live discussion, there's not really much you can prepare for unless you go through, say, like, you know, well, probably anybody on mainstream media. You know, they go through like 3-4 years of what do you call it, school, acting school and stuff like that, before they can get a job. You know, they're not just put on air. They are pretty much actors. You know, so, and you know, going back to me as well, like preparing and stuff. When I did before, I felt that my personality wasn't coming through, which is why now I've decided to do it as, you know, ad-lib, if you like, just off the top of my head, because I just think it's a much nicer format for people to engage with.
Yeah. It's, what's your views about actors? Question to all of you. Just let me clear something up before. Days I ain't. I know you had training as an actor, and that I ain't protruding that what I'm going to say is directed to you. But your comments beforehand, I say what I'm going to say, just what you think of an actor.
Me personally, I have no issues with actors in general. Because at the end of the day, it is a skill, yeah. And I think it's an incredibly hard skill to pull off, especially if you're doing a scene with, you know, somebody, blah blah blah. Plus, sometimes, you know, you may get given acting jobs where there's other people there that you do not like, and you've still got to pull off that and make it look right. So actors in general, no. What is written?
Sorry to interrupt you, Steve. But do you not think that's part of life anyway? But it's you're among people that you don't like, so you have to protrude that you do like them.
Yes, very much indeed. Of course, yes, yeah. You know, of course, that's like a definite. But yeah, no. For me, it's more the stuff that's written for them that I don't agree with. You know, because I just think it's all rubbish TV, to be fair. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Personally, myself, my TV is just not connected to an aerial. My TV is actually my PC screen. It's just there's no connection to outside media and everything whatsoever, apart from what I read on like the Google posts and what I actually decide to look up myself.
What you find is the mainstream actors and the mainstream shows, they actually get paid by the big foundations to insert stuff into their narrative to go along with whatever's politically correct and in the narrative they want to pursue at that moment. So you get like storylines that are pertinent to their agenda popping up in EastEnders, and you've seen it time and again. You know, whatever they want to push, you'll see it coming up in their soap. But that goes back for years and years. It happens through every medium and art. That's the way it works.
Peter, you want to say before I put my views across?
I cannot really comment on that topic. I'm not an actor. I don't.
Yeah. I actually see.
I don't know any. So.
Yeah, I actually see it as a person that's not completely happy with their own life, so they pretend to be others. And the reason I say that is because acting becomes 90 to 95% of the life. And it does totally take over the life. So I mean, acting is a part of everyday life all the time, isn't it? I mean, it's whether you want to be a part of an actor or not. You are an actor.
For me, see what you're saying, Dean, makes a lot of sense, right? But there's two different things there, right? There's beauty in art, right? There's beauty in like sport, right? But things have been bastardized by a ruling majority. These people have ruined it by things like money and elitism and stuff like that. But there's still beauty in the art, right? There's still people who don't just want to be actors because they've got nothing. And I'm not just speaking personally or anything like that. I mean, there's people who are amazing actors, like say like De Niro or Pacino or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Imagine these guys, right? Man, we walk into a set, man, and I mean, see the work they do, and I mean, like Robert De Niro, when he done Taxi Driver, I know what you're saying, like that could become all-encompassing. That's method acting, you know what I mean? Where he basically worked as a taxi driver for 6 weeks or 6 months beforehand, so that you get right into it. But it is real life. It's basically channeling what you see in real life and like situations that you've been in, and other people that you know, and other people's situations that you've seen before, and how they react to things, and remember how you've reacted to things, and trying to find the truth in that drama piece or whatever, or something that you're wanting to portray. A singer, imagine a singer singing a song, but a singer putting emotion into it. You know, they've got to go and find a character. It's much like that, you know what I mean? But there's goodness, there's a lot of goodness in that art as well. But it's like football. It can be like a broad brushstroke is to say that there's no good in it and all that, but it's like the mainstream. That's what they're trying to pump out. It's how they're destroying the art. You know what I mean? If you look at the older films, the black and white films, you get the master character actors or the master directors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's basically what they've done with the music and everything. That get through to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was always maybe an agenda as well in that day, but I mean, that's acting. You know what I mean? That what we're getting in now is like we're getting in now with the music. It's a systematic dumbing down process, in my opinion. You know.
Wasn't acting developed during the Roman age?
Yeah.
I think initially it was Greek gods, and they were presenting. It was like passion plays and stuff. And there was always a depiction of the gods and so forth. So like everything, like a lot of things that had maybe inauspicious beginnings, you know what I mean? But with everything in life, there's a duality, and it's like like take what you want from different things, you know what I mean? There's goodness and badness and everything, you know what I mean? But I think there's a lot of merit in the art of acting.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You know what I mean? It's not all a dark thing, you know?
No.
You both just hit the rest of my conversation. So I've now follow up on. My next ones were the Romans and how it's portrayed and everything. You both just covered it in your comments.
Yeah, well, the Romans turned it into propaganda. I think they made the propaganda part of it an art. And that's what you also still see in the Hollywood media and the mainstream media a lot.
Yes.
So that still exists, and that's something that they developed, I'd say, and perfected.
Took over everything, really, hasn't it? I was going to say that big square box, but it's not square, big anymore, is it? Well, they aren't big, they're just flat.
Yeah, and I think America being the current Roman Empire, so to speak, it's no surprise that Hollywood is an American thing.
Yeah.
It's no surprise that we don't watch Bollywood or which is a much bigger industry than Hollywood, but we don't watch that, or African stuff, or it's all tailor-made for us.
Exactly. It's, I can't understand. It's like I cannot put a film on anymore. I've been watching, you know, how Cookies give us like the old films what he's watching. So watch this. There's a lot in it that's happening at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like them I've managed to sit because they've been like 70s films, and I know the acting's been a little bit corny in them, but
Mm-hmm.
the information that's in them was absolutely unbelievable from like the 70s. And but yeah, it has actually all been 70s, but he's been passing over.
Yeah, but
It is.
people forget that conspiracies and that stuff is not something that we just invented after 9/11. It's something that's also was very prevalent in the 70s and the 60s and all those, even climate change and that stuff.
No, conspiracy's been around for a long, long time. I think you can go back to.
Yeah, but also the conspiracy media. I mean, you know, the propagating this bullshit.
Oh
Sorry.
right, yeah. Oh yeah, certainly on radio.
The Von Dänikens with his bullshit books, and you know the ancient alien theory. Yeah, that's not new. What they're showing now on History Channel, you know. We've been through that, and he sold a shitload of books, so they know there is a big market for it. It's just that you cannot oversaturate that market, so they get out of it like for 10, 20 years, and then they get back into it and start the same cycle all over again. Cycles. It's like just like fashion, you know.
Yeah, you miss a generation and bring it in.
Yeah.
Generation.
Just take the old designs off the shelves and you just put it out again.
Yeah.
People have forgotten the old shit. And it's the same with this stuff.
I was just catching up on chat as well. I just noticed something you just stuck in her days in chat room on the YouTube feed. Magnitude 6.8 at Fukushima. What's that one from? Was that today?
Very recently. Within the last couple of hours. So.
Yeah, there has been an earthquake this evening. There's been a big earthquake this evening, a 6.5 in Japan, and only 11 kilometers deep. So that's a bit worrying. And because I keep up on the earthquake stuff and that, and it's supposed to ramp up over the next couple of days. Supposed to get some big earthquakes over the next few days.
Well, it's got a bit of activity at the moment with the sun as well, haven't we? So usually there's a bit of activity, a couple of flows pointing our way. We usually get the decent sized earthquakes. But like I said, I've not had a decent look today. I've just had because I've been busy. I just had a chilled day today and just sat and relaxed.
Well, it's a volcanic island, so you can expect a lot more of that stuff anyway. So I believe the area that got hit by that tsunami got hit 9 times before by a similar tsunami in recent history. So the last couple of 100 years. So, and they keep rebuilding it, and they're going to rebuild it again, and it's going to happen again.
Have you actually typed it in tsunamis on Google and look, they are quite regular things to happen. Mm-hmm. It's just because of the internet, it's more in your face.
Yeah, and all the videos now, and so it's yeah.
Yeah, and it gets blown out of proportion, and gullible people take it in. And
yeah, like I said, it has happened 9 times before. I
mean, it doesn't have to be an earthquake to cause it. It could be a major storm out at sea and cause a 10, 20-foot wave coming in.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard that as well, that, you know, cause huge tsunamis.
Yeah, you get a major storm out in there. Don't forget, it's flat. It's flat out there. There's nothing whatsoever to stop a storm out at sea. It just builds and builds. It gravitates off the energy of the hot heat the vaporization that's coming off the sea, it feeds off that. You get various funnels inside the storm, which feeds the major eye of the storm, which pumps it up until it hits land, and then it's got to hit mountains, things like that, which sends it higher and breaks it.
You must have seen this once on the Discovery Channel or something. They have this special water way system where they can absorb pretty much a tsunami and diverge it through Tokyo, I think. So it's an all underground canal system that's never used. It's empty. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's gigantic, and it's only used for the emergency.
It's been used a couple of times as well.
Yeah.
When major storm surge has been coming in, that is that one humongous cavern. That is.
So they are very well prepared and very well aware of this shit happening.
I'll tell you what, that is massive. That underground chamber. Jesus. You see people walking through it, and you see side of columns that's holding that roof up, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's like the pyramids, but underground.
Yeah. That is one big chamber. That's hasn't it got a flow from one of the major rivers as well?
I believe so. Yeah, it's yeah.
It feeds from one of the.
Especially made for those storm surges, which well, pretty much come in like a tsunami. So.
I mean, you're looking at your side where you are. I mean, you must get when you get major storms and that, because you're flat, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Jesus, you may as well be a putting green.
Holland is a delta.
Yeah.
Just like Egypt is a delta, or they're a delta, and that's what makes Holland unique, or special.
If you look at it, I mean. There's different ways of looking at the ways of the ice caps melting and things like that. I mean, it could actually be heat from underground that's melting it from underneath. That's why you get all your tunnels and everything. Mm-hmm.
Well, we got a very elaborate storm surge protection system here, which is only used like a couple of times in every century.
Yeah.
So it's been they use it when there's a storm surge. So there's a spring tide. I don't know if you call it also a spring tide. I think.
Yeah.
So when certain tides come together and then the wind comes from the east, I believe, and then or west or whatever, and then we're fucked. And then the water gets pushed up the coast, basically, which is a tsunami.
Yeah, like what happened to us, was it earlier this year?
We get it up Bristol Channel, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it a surge every. Is it?
Yeah, so you get a reverse flow of water, where normally Holland is a delta where the water goes to the ocean. So sometimes we get the reverse effect. And that's not, that doesn't happen that much, luckily.
I think it's twice a year we get it on Bristol Channel, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, it's during, I know it's during the spring high tides, but certain things have to come in as well. Like you say, the wind and obviously waves are something to do with the moon, but I think it's where the moon is positioned as well, very much. And we did actually have one. I think it was earlier this year. I might be wrong, or it may have been last year. I can't remember. Where they were worried about all the floods coming over, and it weren't quite as bad as what they said. But I think it is. Twice a year, spring tide and then late autumn tide or something like that. It can happen, but it's mainly the spring tide, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to have to admit.
So that's the main danger for Holland. It's not climate change or water rising 20 centimeters or a meter even. It's spring tide where the water rises 12 meters at once. That's a problem.
See,
And we're prepared for that shit, so.
With this climate change that they keep going on about, which isn't true, I mean, if you actually research what goes on and look into different scientists about planetary changes and everything, it's just a planetary cycle it's going through.
It's funny because I'm with you that climate change is not man-made. It's to do with a lot of things, and it's an Earth cycle. It's you know, it's like I was having this argument the other day actually because I commented on Russell Brand's The Truth Show that he did about it, and he was like all for that global warming is man-made, and I was just like, it's not man-made. We've got like 60 years of data for man-made climate change and nearly 1 million years of data for climate change.
Yeah.
Now, which do you believe? Do you know what I mean? I'd rather go on 1 million years of data than 60 years of data because it's
that's only provided, Steve, that what they're telling us is actually accurate.
That's true. That is true.
It's like I've always said, I don't mean to shove this one, but like I've always said about the Bible, it's hearsay. I've not actually seen it, so I can't prove it, so I don't believe it. You know what I mean? It's like that's.
I believe the climate is changing, definitely.
Oh yeah, I do.
The climate has been changing on Mars at the same time.
Yeah.
It has been on Mercury, and it has a lot to do with the sun, and there's a lot of influence coming from all sorts of shit.
This was my point, is that it's not, I don't believe the climate is changing, because it is. But I don't believe it's man-made. I don't believe it's man-made.
The man-made part is the raking in, the making money out of it. Trying to piggyback out of the natural disasters that are coming or whatever.
And the way I do it, and it touched on this as well, is
sell a false sense of security.
If it is man-made, then these people who really believe in the man-made thing cannot believe in peak oil, because simply if peak oil exists, then we're not going to be producing as much CO2 by then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For us to worry about. So, you know, like.
It's very well put. That stumps every Greenpeace activist in their.
It's funny because the moment I mentioned peak oil, and I had loads of people against me. I had loads of people for me as well that agreed with me. But the moment I put in the fact about peak oil, only about 2 people replied and were saying, "Nah, you're talking rubbish." But you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. If it's possible that we can affect it, because it's not just CO2. Think about all the body heat that we produce as well, you know, and we do produce a lot of body heat. So that could affect it. But then you go back to the life cycles, and I'm sure someone's probably thought about it and looked up the data. When did all these heating and cooling happen? Was it as the amount of life exploded on the planet, or was it? Do you see what I mean? If the amount of life exploded on the planet and the heat rose, and then there was a catastrophic event and everything died off, and then it cooled. Well, then that does suggest then that body heat probably also affects climate.
No, but no.
It's a total. Basically, it works the same way as the New Age works, because it is always changing. If it's going to change on day 1 of the universe, it's going to change on day 10 of the universe, it's going to change on day 1,000,000 of the universe. Climate's always going to change, so they can always say climate change. So they couldn't say global warming anymore. Sunspots weren't correlating to that. The activity wasn't doing that. calling it global warming anymore, so they had to call it climate change. So they can always get away with it because the climate's always changing, and they can always promise a new age. It's just a con. If you look at when they're saying, but climate change is happening, but you say, but how long are you looking at that for? Are you looking at that over 10 years, or 20 years, or 100 years, or 1,000 years, or 100,000 years, or 1,000,000 years, or 1,000,000,000 years? There's no perspective. You know what I mean? If it's going to drop by 3%, 5%, that's going to be counterbalanced by times it's done that in the past, or it's just going to keep on changing. There's nothing that we can do. Well,
exactly.
We basically.
Sorry, I just wanted to jump in. No, I completely agree with you. It's the Earth is an equilibrium. Yeah, it just constantly goes from back it one way to the other, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop that unless something wipes out the Earth, and then it won't happen anymore because the Earth won't be there. You know, the Earth is always creating.
The control system. They want you to believe that if you buy enough bags for life out of Tesco's, then we're going to be able to stop this. Like, see cows in fields, them actually passing wind, they create more methane than the human produce. So what are we supposed to do? Stop breathing and like arseholes of cows in fields? I mean, this is how ridiculous the sell is from the control system, and they want you to buy into it. They want you to buy, you know what I mean, for the green dollar, and the fear, and they want you to buy into it to provide a global solution to a global problem. It all ties in with Agenda 21 and so forth, but they've got us all kidding on. If you go and buy the right light bulbs, and you go and buy the right carrier bag and all that, and everybody does their bit, and we'll be alright, you know what I mean? It's like thermonuclear submarines and stuff like that, and as a comedian doing his bit pointed out, and we're worried about Bags for Life and stuff. It's a big con.
It is a huge con, and I kind of agree that, you know, we should be more greener. You know, it's not so much doing this bit for them. We should be doing this for ourselves. Like, even me recently, I recently joined a group, and it's a community farm. Yeah. And the reason I go there, I work for free. I go there and I work for free. I don't go there because I want the produce or anything like that. I'm literally going there and working on a community space because I believe that growing your own food and keeping your own animals and doing all that kind of stuff is the way forward. But it's got nothing to do with the whole global warming thing. I just think that is how we break the system. Yeah, it's just by kind of coming, if you like, off the grid, you know, coming away from what we've been sold, you know, because it is what we've been sold, really, literally our whole life. We are sold bullshit, really. And I do think people are realising that that is the way forward, because, you know, you get a lot of people, you know, wanting to produce their own power, wanting to produce their own produce, wanting to, you know, even my sister now, she's got her own, like, you know, she grows
Self-sufficiency, I would say, is key. Self-sufficiency is very important, but it's also important not see the language. I mean, they've gave us that word greener. You know what I mean? That we have to focus on or whatever. I think there's a difference between that, moving towards a more sustainable lifestyle, and like. We really need to be eyes open to this green agenda. Honestly, I know I don't mean to be, Stevie, I don't mean to be pedantic. I just think it's important. It's all in the language, mate, you know.
Yeah, no, I totally see where you're coming from on that. Yeah, no, and I believe, yeah, you're right with the word. Self-sufficiency.
Sustainability is just another climate change meme, basically. It is bullshit. Look, it's not something that you want. What you want is a good product. What you want is a healthy product, which hasn't been Monsanto'd or poisoned to, yeah, you know.
But it's true. It's true. It is true.
You want to be sure that what you're eating is safe, is healthy, is produced in a reasonable way. You know, that's what you want to know. That's
Even
not everybody has to have his own little green garden.
even this word sustainability.
We've
Use
lost.
that. Even that was one of their favourite. Am I back in the room, mate? Am I here? Hello.
Yeah, I think Best,
Yo.
I think best off turning your camera off, but you can just staying with your audio. It seems to be a better connection when you turn your camera.
Okay. Muggy. Anyway, I've got a face for radio. I'm just saying. There's we need, even that word itself, that's been hijacked by buzzword at the moment, sustainability, and that ties in with our green agenda, rewilding, making space for nature, you know, very, very sneaky people that we're dealing with here, you know.
Yeah, it's a marketing ploy to make it more expensive, just like bio. You know, it's bullshit.
Move you into the mega cities in the future. Easier to control.
It does.
It's bad though. Like, you know, it is bad. I mean, like I'm lucky because I do live out in the country. Do I want to live in a city? No, I can't. I hate cities. I absolutely hate them. Can't stand them. Where I live, yeah, literally 5 miles down the road is a town that has one of the highest crime rates, and it's not even a big town. Like, well, it is a big town. You know, it's like 80,000 people, but it's got one of the highest crime rates in the country. I'm 5 miles down the road from it, with a population of 13,000 people, and we have one of the lowest crime rates in the country. And it's just like, where would you rather live? Well, I know where I would rather live, like right here, you know.
I think that's something that the history has shown over and over again. When civilizations grow too big or they collapse. So I think the same happens in cities. You cannot manage a city of 25 million people as if it's a city. It's a.
Well, what's
it's a country.
There's a city in America. I can't remember the city in America, but that's totally collapsed, doesn't it?
Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah, that's it. It's like totally collapsed. No one living there. No one. Huge, great city, but absolutely ransacked.
Manufacturing. It was a big manufacturing site.
Yeah, the car industry left, and that necked it. But those people moved on. They didn't disappear. They went elsewhere because the jobs weren't there anymore. They moved elsewhere, and you know, the same would happen when Volkswagen decides to build their cars in China instead of Germany. Then Germany is losing a lot of jobs and a lot of cities. Because a lot of cities here in Germany are built based on car manufacturers. Ingolstadt is Audi, you know, all of them have their own towns, complete cities. Those are not small cities. And the same goes for Toyota. If you look in Japan, they have their own cities. Yeah.
Some cities that are totally abandoned.
Yeah, no. That's a sad. Yeah, that's something we have to move away from the robotization of humankind, where we treat each other as a robot. You know, that's something we have to change. So
sort of carrying on from that, because I'm sure most of you will have seen the film Thrive. Have you? Quick question.
Thrive?
Yeah, the thingy called Thrive, where they want to create the really nice kind of living area. That's not a city, but it is all robotized and stuff. And I just wanted to know your take on that, if you've seen it.
It does ring a bell, but I'll have to look at it. Drive.
I missed that then, Steve. Sorry. I'm actually typing and listening at the same time, and I just zoned out for a second and I missed the question. Could you repeat?
I was asking if any of you had seen the film Thrive. It's I think it's only an hour long, but it's and I just wanted to know what people's thoughts were on that kind of living.
I'm a bit mixed on that, because he does actually say that he gave up on. If you actually look into his background in that, he's come from a very wealthy family. Very extremely wealthy family. But he says he gave all that up to do that, which I find hard. I think he's an inside elite. That's just,
I'm looking at it now. It's 2 hours long, I see.
yeah, that's just
Something like that.
that's just my views on him. I just think he's an inside elite.
I mean, I hadn't looked into any deeper. I just watched
Well,
it.
I'm seeing crop circles, so
Yeah, he's actually from a very. He does actually state this early on in some of his videos that he's give it all up and he's doing it because, which from the family he's from, which I can't exactly remember which one it is, but it is a very wealthy family.
yeah. Well, I don't like these kind of videos anyway.
It wouldn't surprise me because of the way the video is produced. I mean, it's a very well produced video,
Exactly.
so yeah, that does kind of give it away. I mean, I don't get me wrong, because I do kind of quite like the idea, but I just I like the idea, but it's too robotized. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I've got nothing.
Well,
I've got nothing against the robotized society, like not society, but robots doing stuff for us.
Mm-hmm.
But none of these robots can be anything military or police or anything like that. They have literally got to be robots that build stuff for us, so that humans can just do what they want, basically, enjoy free time.
well, if you think about it,
I don't know. I would have less problems with a robot who abides the law, police cop, than a police cop who doesn't abide the law.
yeah, exactly.
I kind of see your point on that. Yeah, I do see your point on that.
If that robot policeman is actually programmed to law of the land, I totally agree with you.
I think the biggest problem with all of this is it going to be a corporate entity or something, or is it something that we can govern ourselves, that we have the control over, or is it something that Google has the control over, where terms and conditions may apply or not?
It's got to be a free. If it's going to happen, it's got to be free. It's got to be any kind of question that people want to ask, then it needs to be put.
That's what that Tesla guy is doing. That Tesla car guy, that Donald Tusk, what's his name? He's giving away all his patents from his electric car, so everybody can make that kind of electric car.
Well, that's the way I see it. I see technology.
Yeah, but it's easy for him because he already has a couple of billion on the bank.
That's true. I mean, I always see technology, any technology, it should be free and completely open source. Anybody can have absolutely anything you want but you've got to go and find the information. You've got to go get that information to make what you want. So you could have a Ferrari, you could have whatever, but and I do believe all technology should be completely free and open source to everybody, because think how far we would move forward, if it was completely free and open source. People would come up with all kinds of ideas.
Oh, I think the 3D printer is a first step to that.
Do you know how easy it is, right, to have a
But nobody's talking about that anymore.
Do you know how easy it is, right, to have a self-powered car, right, until a battery cell runs out? It's so easy. Right, they're coming up with these electrical cars, yeah? Right, it's running off that battery, yeah? You start your everyday car up, yeah? You start it up, right? What actually puts the power back into your car battery to start that car every morning or every afternoon, every day, or no matter what time of day you want to start it? What actually puts that power back into that battery to do that? It's an alternator, isn't it?
Yeah.
No?
Nope.
Right. So what is stopping, right, you from incorporating an alternator into an electric car to recharge its own battery?
That's a hybrid.
Yeah, no, your hybrid's got a petrol engine.
I was going to say, don't. Well, I don't know so much about the alternator, but I certainly know that they use the brakes to regenerate electric car batteries, even fully electric car batteries. Literally, the braking system provides that power back, so I'm not sure.
I think that they also have a reverse alternator, which gives power back, but that's only...
All it is sticking a couple of extra belts or a chain on, throw an alternator into that system to recharge them batteries. That's reducing its charge.
It doesn't quite work that way, but you could think of a system like that, sure.
Yeah, if it didn't work like that every time.
Yeah, but the alternator the power of the alternator is only enough to make your engine turn over. It's not to make your wheels.
Oh, it's not. It gets boosted. The voltage gets boosted throughout, doesn't it? It goes through capacitors, which boost.
Yeah, sure. You could think of a system like that. There are systems like that out there. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I know because I've actually sat here and done it. That's how I know.
There are cars running on air, on compressed air.
Yeah. I mean, you've got hydro cars as well, which run off hydroponics that are running off water.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got.
Yeah, but that's something you definitely don't want, because if there's something that is scarce, it is water.
Well, what about a pulse engine?
Then you cannot use salt water for.
A pulse engine.
Yeah, you can think of a warp engine if you like.
No,
it all has to be the
pulse engine. There is actually a pulse engine.
Yeah. Okay. What you put into it?
It pulsates off its own pressure.
Okay. Well.
It's what? 100-year-old, maybe more.
Yeah, but I've also seen gasoline cars run 1 in 50 miles.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like.
And that was in 1950.
It just breaks down that everything's there about money and power.
Yeah,
I mean, but I've heard horses are faster.
Why are we so obsessed by making cars electric? Because that's a whole other polluting issue. What do you do with all the batteries and all that?
Generate electricity.
Yeah.
See,
why not just make an efficient petrol engine that you can run 1,000 kilometers on 1 liter of something like that?
Well, cars can run on water these days. You know, they've invented technology that cars can run
Hemp?
on water.
Make them run on hemp oil.
What about going back to the old humanic ways of walking? What's wrong with that?
No, I'm more for the Star Trek solution. Yeah.
I'm more for the
beam me up, Scotty. I'm waiting for that app.
It won't be too long before that comes out, I'm sure.
Mm.
You know.
It has been done on a molecular level, so.
Yeah, it has been, hasn't it?
Yeah. First steps are made.
But trying to do that with a human, well, that's going past the human genome. That is, I mean, that would take years, most likely, to decipher.
I don't know. The rate of technology is going so fast now.
Well, yeah, this is it. I mean, the military are way ahead of us with their technology. But I think something that the internet has provided, because there is a lot of open source technology out there, and people are quite happily giving their inventions and stuff away because they see how maybe not in their own particular field that they can make it work, but by letting somebody else have a play with it, they may be able to make it work. And it is funny how the internet has actually helped technology along. I mean, here's...
Yeah, but that's something they deliberately wanted. Look what it got the military, what they got in return. Look at how the military is looking these days. That's completely something else than we had 20 years before the internet. Then we had the analog dumb bombs. Now we got the smart planes, the smart drones, the robots coming. That's all also thanks to the internet. And internet is military. It's Milnet.
Yeah, it is military. But it don't help them that much.
They got the most out of it, trust me.
That's what makes me think about Putin's comment about the internet being a CIA project.
Just think of all those smart kids or professors or whoever just emailing their smart ideas to each other, and now they're finding out that the NSA has been watching all along.
Exactly. You think about that, little communities that are...
Yeah, because we bitch about ourselves, you know, you and me, and our private life, and maybe some journalist that got his integrity slammed. But we never don't ever talk about this shit. But that's what it's about. It's about knowledge, what you know.
Yeah. And
that's not knowing that you go to the grocery shop every Friday and that you eat a meatloaf on Wednesday. They don't give a shit about that. They want knowledge. They want stuff they didn't know. That's why Rumsfeld always talking about the known knowns and the known knowns.
The only companies that want to know about that are advertisers, so that they can ram it all down your throat at some point.
I don't know. Yeah.
Like certainly, like a lot of data that is collected is not about what you do, where, when, how. I mean, sure, don't get me wrong. They've got keyword data ciphering kind of stuff for that. But the kind of data that generally gets collected is who's clicking on what type of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, but that's already,
it's not specific. It's not overly specific. But then, like I say, there is a separate side to it, where obviously they certainly are, you know, looking up keywords like bombs or new technology or that kind of stuff as well. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the way I see it.
We call Google.
They troll and data mine the everything that's being sent all over the planet. So and they can go for trigger words and it's not just Americans, it's us doing that as well. It's all of us. Everybody tries to.
It's a global issue. It's a global issue. Well, you do it yourself. Every time you search something in Google, What are you doing? You're data mining.
Yeah, you're trying to get more knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's and they already know all that stuff, the stuff that we don't know. But they want to know the stuff they don't know. I don't know if you've seen that documentary of Rumsfeld, about Rumsfeld. It's called The Known Knowns or something.
Feel free to post the link and I'll add it to my watch list. And
I don't think it's on Google, but The Known Knowns. Just look it up on the torrents.
Okay.
I'll remind you.
Yeah,
But it's something he said once at after 9/11 happened or something at a press conference, where he said there are knowns we know, and there are knowns we don't know, and there are unknowns we know, but there are also knowns we don't know, and he wants to know that.
But do you think they could ever figure that out entirely?
Yeah. With internet it helps, sure, but it's already beyond the internet. They already the latest thing in marketing is neuro marketing. So where they look inside your brain.
Well, I mean, even Facebook tried that neuro thing.
Yeah, and
I saw that.
And they want to do that wireless, of course.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
yeah, but that's the ultimate marketing, where you want to be, in the head of your consumer. That's the best place you want to be. And if it's technology makes that possible, the marketing is going to go there. 100% they're going to try.
Yeah.
They have tried. They tried dream machines and all sorts of shit.
Actually, I was thinking about this the other day, because it's you know how I forget his name. This goes to, I believe, Darren Brown. I'm sure you're aware of Darren Brown, Peter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how he used subliminal images to get his. I mean, I don't know how much of it's acted and stuff, but I do have a genuine feel for the guy. And I think a lot of it is just very clever manipulation of people. But, you know, in a lot of his shows, he used subliminal images to get his audience to do what he wanted them to do. And I was thinking the other day, I wonder how much of that is actually on the internet. And because it's different on TV, because it's controlled on TV. Yeah, although it's still there, it's very much a no-no, and any company getting caught doing it ends up with a huge fine, although it probably hasn't happened for years and it goes on badly. But I just wonder how much of that is on the internet. That subliminal imaging, making you do stuff.
Shitloads of it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's
It's used a lot in advertising and even in political campaigns. And Bush used it in his campaigns, in his advertisings.
even like everyday common users. I mean, this information is bloody hell. You know what I mean? It's in your face all the time.
These days, the term is maybe a little different. They call it product placement.
Yeah. But
That's subliminal messaging. That's the same.
We've actually got a thing here now in UK that if you actually do subliminal messaging, they put a P in the corner on the screen in product placement.
Yeah, but after 2 weeks you don't notice the P anymore. It's gone. You don't see it. It's here they used to do it with sugary products for children. They used to show a toothbrush.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of sugar content, but that didn't work.
Well, if you actually look at it, running up to Christmas, look at the subliminal messaging there. Constant power after power after power advert.
You don't see it anymore, but it's there. That's the scary thing. It's there, but you don't see it anymore.
It's just that you're actually getting used to seeing it, so you don't take it as the subliminal content.
You recognize this when you go to the fridge and you know there's something there, and when you look it's not there, and the second time you look it's there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's also your mind already projects this image.
Yeah.
So, and then it's a similar thing that happened to the Incas when the Spanish came, where they couldn't see the ships or something, or the Africans or whatever. That's
Yeah.
also pretty well reported because they haven't had an understanding of what they were seeing. There's all kinds of sorts of subliminal messaging, how you can do it, how you can deliver this stuff, and audio is a very good one also.
What was the Malayans, Pete? Were that the Spanish as well? I can't remember. I've actually covered it, but
The Malayans?
sorry,
Doesn't-
I was laughing at a comment on the comments in the YouTube.
Doesn't ring
Yeah,
a bell.
no. Yeah, was it the Spanish? Sorry, Peter. Was it the Spanish that showed up on that?
I don't know, but it's I don't know if it's even a myth or something, but it has been reported where they couldn't see the ships even.
Do you not think that they've actually done more? It seems to think. This is just something it's just come into my head actually. That it always seems to be you get Christopher Columbus pumped at you for finding new lands. But do you not think more in the history, the Spanish have been more like covered, if you know what I mean? It seemed to be that they did all the founding, and like Christopher were tag along.
Yeah, but then the British and the Dutch came along and they kicked their ass.
You could take it way back to.
We let them do the dirty job and we took the gold.
As usual.
I mean, you could take that all the way back. I mean, back to way before what we'd call classes like modern day stuff. I mean, you could take that probably back 150,000 years to who founded what first, because if anything, so science says, we're all African based, so the Africans founded America and the rest of the world first, no?
Yeah.
Mm.
And then, like you say, Peter, you know, we and everyone else just went and took the gold, had a bigger army, and went and claimed it as their own.
Yeah.
You know? And at the end of the day, no one owns anything.
Yeah, we're doing the same to the Chinese right now, where we let them build the infrastructure and set everything up in Africa, and then we come in, create a humanitarian crisis where the Chinese have to leave, and then the UN troops take over and rerun the place.
Yeah.
So.
It's just I don't know what it is about power trips and things like
Well,
that.
the Chinese are happy with it. They got their spills, of course. You know, and they got their way. Nobody's complaining what the Chinese are doing in Africa. Nobody's talking about that. We don't complain about that, and that's the deal. We don't complain about what you're doing there, but you build that shit, and when you're done, we take over. Take whatever you need. When you're done, get out. That's the deal. And if not, then America comes along and they're gonna wage a war for the elites, whoever they are, or wherever they may sit. Because I'm not too sure about that.
Well, yeah, they I'm not sure where they sit either, but
it cannot be the queen. It can impossibly it can be the queen. It's not possible. She could die tomorrow. She could die tomorrow.
Oh, she's
old.
She's old now.
Just of age, she couldn't be the one.
She struggles to smile these days.
These days, has she ever smiled?
Oh, she's once or twice. guys. But yeah, no.
I've seen her grin.
But yeah, probably at some pervy comment her husband made, no doubt. Some you know,
Racist something.
racist comment, or you know, him lifting up a bird's skirt that was only 14 years old or something like that. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, you know, I mean that's you know, I used to love the royal family. I must admit I did, all up until Diana died, and that was when I just thought, nah, that was no accident.
I laughed then because when Diana died, I was living in a squatter village, an army village, down in Sidworth, not long after I'd come out myself, like, and I lived right across the road from the actual village police station, and I just put surround system. I'd sussed it out quite a while before actual home surround cinemas come out. I'd watched it out how to do it through my stereo system and all that crap. Well, we were watching a film and we had it up full blast. I could just see this light shining through the window, a really bright light. Looked out the window, copper stood there, he says, "You fucking turn that down." He says, "I can fucking hear that in police station." And as I paused it, newsflash come on about Diana. So I know that was way blown out. Sorry about that. Carry on, Steve.
No. You know, it's always interesting to hear because I know exactly what I was doing, and it wasn't very good. But yeah, no, that whole thing just stunk. But it certainly wasn't the first time that I thought something was amiss. I think the first time that I thought something was really amiss was I was quite young, and I had read or I'd seen a film about Roswell. That was it. I'd seen a documentary about Roswell, and back in my younger days I used to read quite a lot. And then I read a book, and it blew the whole theory of Roswell on its head, like the whole, what they call the official story. That was when I first started thinking, but I never paid much attention to it until probably about 2-3 years ago, when I started to think stuff was a bit amiss and not as it was being portrayed to me. And it's a shame because I've always lived a hippie life.
Sorry, Steve. I was indulged in the conversation in the comments on the YouTube channel. The link is actually in the Abouts box. If any of you'd like to join, Blazing, Ryzet, Tony B, me 42 Dogs, you're all welcome. Just join us.
Yeah.
As you can see, all we do is just sit and chat. I mean, we don't have agendas. We don't have pressing points. It's just whatever's here at the time, and we'll chat about it. You know what I mean? You've got a point to bring up. Bring it up. We're not going to mock you. We're not going to knock you back. We're not going to say go away. It's free speech. We agree with free speech. It's up to you. You chat what you want to chat about. Come on. Come and join us. Quite welcome. Sorry, chaps.
Cool.
No, it's cool. You know,
The more the merrier, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's what makes, okay, it is Google, and but I think that's what makes it a good platform, and I don't, well, I personally don't, I mean, apart from Skype, obviously, and the other sort of, you know, personal type chat stuff, nothing kind of really offers this kind of platform, really, does it? You know, not as such, because, like, well, I mean, what other live channels have you got? You've got Livestream, you've got Ustream. I'm sure there's a couple more, but none of them offer you the ability to jump in and join in a conversation unless you're actually there, I believe. Is that right?
Sorry, yeah, I'm not quite sure on that, Steve. This is the only one that I've found at the moment to produce those opportunities. But I'm not quite sure. I think Ustream actually does the same. I'm not sure on that. And I think that opportunity to jump in on Ustream as well. I'm just trying to catch up on this conversation on the YouTube feed. We just got love to, but I'm family in bed. Family in bed. Sorry, Blazing. That's a bit of a strange one. Me 42 Doc says spot on. Cheers, Dean. Welcome, mate. You can jump in anytime, like I say. Tony B. Oh shit, we had something like that centuries ago. Permitting, I think, was called "We're Honest People. What are their views and problems on the constitute? Yeah, something like that. Constituents and help them. When did I get so corrupted that was Tony B? Day one, probably. When Jews come, Spec B37. When Jews become involved. Rizek went dead. I don't understand that one, James. Like I say, you're all welcome. I think, as you can understand, hosting and collaborating on this, getting Hangouts going, it does take quite a lot to get going, and we do actually run out of things to say. So new people are always welcome. New subjects. I tell you, it's a godsend actually, because we do get burnt out. We do sit back at times and think, well, I'm actually, this bit is myself. You sit back and you think, why are we doing it? But times when we sit here and we think, we're only doing it among ourselves, that is the main thing for us. But when we sit back and we see people watching, people commenting on things like this, we just wish you'd actually join in. Come and put your points out on Earth. It's entirely up to yourselves, obviously. But so obviously more listening and more.
This is the next step of being informed.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of agree with that, actually. I think.
Well, thank you.
Because it sort of when you say like being informed, it gives you, if you like, you know, this is going back to that open source thing. You know, if people are putting their points across, or even jumping in and mentioning a subject that, you know, we haven't covered, you know, then yeah.
Well, that's it. That's the trap of the internet. Internet has a billion topics you can talk about, from Roswell
that's true.
to Syria.
Going back to
what you need is people who are interested in certain kind of topics, who are more specialized in talking about. I'm from media. I'm you know, I'm an advertising guy, so I know a lot about that.
Yeah, for me, I suppose a lot of what I look at is natural stuff. So you know, I do spend a lot of time looking
Yeah,
at.
and everybody brings in his own little angle to all the conspiracies that are out there, and I think that's important to get a more general consensus on all the shit that's out there and all the good stuff that's out there. So you don't have to go on that endless rabbit hole because it's a.
Well, it's never ending, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm on the internet since '94, and I haven't finished reading the last page.
Well, I think one of the first websites that I ever come across, and I didn't get on the internet till about 2001, but and I don't think I've ever left it. But one of the first websites that I ever came across was one about apples. I can't even remember the website. It was years ago. It was in 2001, and it just literally listed every single apple on the planet, and then just went into information about that apple. And I was just like, and that's when internet. I mean, this internet back then was cool. I mean, you know, it was very poor. It was nothing like it is now. I mean, now it's. I suppose in a way it's kind of formalised itself, hasn't it? It's you know, it's like Google's like the big search engine. I don't actually know.
It's slowly turning itself into little boxes, you know.
Yeah, it is turning itself.
It's walling itself up, where you have the techies and the nerds and the conspiracy theorists and all kinds of internet societies serving the web, you know. And sometimes they clash when there's Sandy Hook or whatever. Where the mainstream clash with, obviously, it's gonna clash with all the conspiracy guys out there. You know, that's funny, but it's the same as what happens in real life or outside on the street. The same is happening on the internet.
Get this, Steve. I got my first PC 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Seriously. Self-taught. I just like seeing the arse of everything.
It's funny you say about self-taught, because pretty much everything I've learned over the last 15 years, I didn't learn nothing at school. Everything I've learned has been totally self-taught, from my photography, from building websites, from like, because I'm quite techy as well. You know, I follow a lot of tech stuff. I wouldn't say nerdy because I only know basic stuff, but you know, I do all right. And so everything that I've ever learned, I've certainly learned in probably since I've left school. I learned nothing at school, to be honest. Or everything that I was taught at school has probably turned out to be bullshit.
All right. Yeah.
That goes for most people, I think.
I got kicked out of primary school. Seriously. I got kicked out of primary school for chucking chairs at teachers. I told them they were lying. But seriously, I got kicked out of primary school. I went to secondary school, smashed it up because I told them they were all dicks and they didn't know what they were talking about. Just me, that was just how I was, and but I could stand there and watch somebody do class 3. I could stand there and watch them do it. Day after, I could pick up a trowel, a float, do it myself. Great. I'm just one of them that can stand there, watch them do a job and do it day after. I'll do it 10 minutes after them. It's just strange. I've just been gifted that way. It's just been technically minded.
Yeah, I think that's the most amazing thing about the internet, where it brings people together. We would never have met Dino. Never in our wildest dreams we would have met. Never.
No, definitely not. No, I totally agree. And I mean, I as I've said before, I'm a believer in fate and destiny, and I think You know, you get given sort of like two paths to choose from, and it doesn't matter which path you take. There's always a destiny at the end, and blah blah blah. But yeah, without the internet, then we wouldn't have met. But we made the choices to go on the internet.
No, yeah, well, yeah, that, and I think that's the main advantage that we have compared with our previous generations. You know, and yeah, tools like Google Hangouts and Skype and WhatsApp and all that. You know, even Facebook. I hate it, but it does bring people together. I can see that also. You know.
I have met quite a lot of people on Facebook, and I'm not just chatting to them personally on Facebook. I mean, taking it out of the internet, and I've met quite a lot of people that way. You know, both male, female. You know, some of them are like really good friends that I chat with all the time about this kind of stuff. Really, you know, and this was something that came up the other day, and we was having a discussion about who is like, we was talking about, yeah, like the ages that aren't aware of, like, you know, the bullshit media and stuff. And I don't know, I just turned around and I said, it's funny because the way I see it, because I was talking to some people that are quite a lot younger, and I said, it's funny. I said, you only see it from your age group. I said, and I see it from mine. And I said, I'm a generation older. And I said, what I see is a lot of the younger generation, so I'm talking sort of like 7-year-olds to maybe 16, 17, 18-year-olds are awake. And then there's this big divide between 18 and 30-year-olds that are still asleep, like just still like watch, only care about celebrities, don't care about anything else other than that. And then after that, sort of like the 30s to the possibly mid-60s, and then all of a sudden it dies off again. I don't know what you guys think about that. Do you see that kind of thing?
Yeah, there again though, it's TV, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people it's a choice.
Yeah, I understand that. It is a choice when you get to a certain age.
No, it's easy living, conforming to the mainstream.
So, see, I think what I'm
No
not
hassle.
getting at is the generation gap, if you like. There just seems to be that generation gap of the 18 to 30-year-olds. I'm not saying all, because I do know some people that are 25 that I chat to, but the majority of the people who just care about the celebrity status and watching mainstream media does tend to be the 1830s. And I don't know why. You say it's about choice, but I don't know why. I see it as some kind of generational thing where somehow, like, obviously the younger generation is growing up in an age where it's already there for them. Yeah. The middle generation that I'm talking about didn't quite have it there. Yeah, like, you know, the internet and everything to find out the information. And then my generation, you know, the 30 to 60s, had it come later when they were less interested in what mainstream media had to throw.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I do understand what you're saying. It was like, it weren't till, what, mid-80s when computers, well, I'd say, what?
Can't hear you, Lee.
It was mid-80s, really, wasn't it? Where computers come complete.
Yes, so yeah, first home computer was, I believe, probably about when I was born in '78, but they didn't really come mainstream until the mid-80s, 84, 85, 86.
We had the big. I mean, what I remember at school, we had the big, frigging big BBC computer.
Big
Your audio is breaking up, Dean.
Sorry, it's.
Check your mic.
Is that all right?
Yeah, it's better.
All right. It's like we had the big. It was like bloody big horrible BBC computer, and it was like what? You know, looking at them now, it was like Jesus Christ. It was like a 42-inch screen. 42-inch screen is probably the size of a computer. You know what I'm saying?
The UK had their own little Amstrad system, right?
Yeah.
We had a big, well, it was made by Amstrad, but it was funded by BBC, wasn't it? And that's what we had that went into all the schools and everything.
Because what we got here was mainly the American and so some European. Philips later came with a computer also, but.
So you would have got. I mean, we did.
Like a Commodore, Atari.
Yeah, you got all. See, my first computer was Dean might laugh at this, and you may know what it was. Was a Spectrum, 64-bit, I believe it would have been. And then we had the Spectrum 128K, which was my first computer, which I absolutely adored and used to program as well and make games on it.
Cool. Yeah, my first computer was a Commodore 64.
So that was about the same time.
Similar power, similar time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also programming, like telephone books, thick scripts.
I used to have a really cool game on the Spectrum, and it was called How to Be a Complete Bastard. And literally, I mean, it was the best game I ever played on that age console. But literally, you could go around and stab people with a pen, kill them, and you had to complete the words "How to Be a Complete Bastard." I never completed it, but it was by far the best game that was ever made for that type of machine. In those days, I mean, the graphics were poor, but I mean, for the day, they were pretty good.
Anything moving was amazing back then.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just got the PlayStation 4, so I'm still that little kid. That stuck with me. That really stuck with me.
You see, I left PlayStation. I got a PlayStation 2 when it came out. But as soon as they released the PlayStation 2, they sold off a lot of their gaming rights, didn't they, that they had with EA Sports and all of them, which made them available to other systems. So I literally bought my PlayStation and sold it within a few weeks once I found that out, because at the time I believe Nintendo had a better system. But I didn't buy a Nintendo, I just walked away from the gaming system.
That's going to be a long discussion, I think. But Nintendo had their own little system, but they got stuck on their cartridges, which was a problem.
Yes,
in the end.
they did indeed.
That couldn't evolve anymore. So.
And in a way, Nintendo still can't evolve because they're still stuck in their own little system.
Yeah, and they're running into the same problems right now again with the Wii.
Yeah. And I did have an Xbox 360 up until recently, and I will most likely buy an Xbox One. I don't know why, but I do quite like the old Xbox. But I think they've all got good stuff going for them these days. You know.
Just interrupt a minute. I've just noticed Oxley. You actually wanted to come on last Friday evening, but we didn't actually do one last Friday evening. So, link is underneath in the About box. If you'd like to jump on and put across what you wanted to talk about last weekend, It's quite fine by us, mate. You're welcome to come on. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Cool.
He does have a quite a good subject that he wants to talk about. And I'd said I'd give him time last Friday, but we didn't actually get around to doing last Friday, so got the opener we'd like to come on and do it. Yeah, crack on, guys. Sorry. I'll tell you
Well, did you play computer games, Dean?
what.
No, because you just had a PC for 2 years.
I do. Not a great deal. I did actually get the PS2 possibly about 30 months ago or something like that, about 2.5 years ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, and still do on occasion, play COD.
Ah, cool.
It's more for keep my brain active, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've got to think, haven't you? See, it's like I'll play games on Facebook, but it's strategy games. It's strategy games that I play because I find it keeps your brain active, and because I don't do a lot. I'm a carer and I look after a mentally adapted person. I couldn't think of the proper word then. But I think I look after a guy that's got problems. And that takes a lot of time up, but I do other things. But it's like keeping up with my little bats, looking at this, playing my little games, strategy games. It keeps me ticking over, you know what I mean?
Right.
Brain active. Because I'm a constructive person anyway. I mean, give me plans, building plans, anything. I can read them. I can.
You should play Minecraft.
I don't like it.
No? You can build anything.
I know. I don't like it.
It takes in too much time, those games.
It's not,
I turned into a more casual gamer over the years, you know. For me, it's more entertainment, and I like to keep in touch also. What's out there, and you know.
What it is with me with the Minecraft, it's one of things. I can't step back and look. Oh no, I've done that. I mean, whereas a lot of projects I've done in the UK, I can drive past and say, well, I have to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, but Minecraft you can play in two ways. You can play it solo and do everything yourself, or play in a community and build on something together. You know, and
That's
for some people that's very satisfactory to create stuff. You know.
That's the main place I get my kicks.
Yeah, I'd rather create stuff in the real world, but
I've just built. You know what I mean?
Can hardly hear you, Dean.
Sorry. It's like I've done electronics, like electronic gates, barriers. I can wire a house. I can bricklay. I can flag. I can block lay. I've done everything in building industry. I can drive any machine you put in front of me. I can get on it and drive it. Cranes, right down to boring machines. I can drive them.
that's a skill. I couldn't.
I don't see it's a skill.
Oh, I could try. That's the thing with me. Like, I would get on and try, and I investigate stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't be scared to get on it and give it a go. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah, I can do that, and then blame the machine.
I'd just be able to smash stuff up, I think.
I mean, I investigate it, but I'll investigate it in a different way than you do, whereas I want to take it apart and put it,
That's something I do as well.
you know what I mean? That's me. I just want to, I see a machine and I just want to strip it down. I just want to strip it down and look inside and see what's going on.
Yeah, but but YouTube helps because there are a lot of YouTube films out there that
Yeah.
take shit apart, and you can look at other people doing it.
Still,
That helps.
there's no appreciation for me in there.
I don't know. Oh yeah.
Because
No, I find it helpful. You know, like when I had a Nokia N95 and I wanted to change the screen on it because I broke it, then yeah, I found YouTube very helpful. I wasn't going to pay like at the time. I think it was about 50 quid to change the screen,
Yeah.
and I wasn't going to pay that money. I think I spent about £6 on eBay and watched probably a couple of hours of YouTube videos doing it, so I understood it, and then did it, and it was fine.
Yeah, and now you know it. It's something you
Well,
forever know.
I only know it for the Nokia N95. Which is a bit
You're a
funny.
Nokia N95 specialist then.
Yeah. Oh,
Expert.
that was the best phone I ever had. Best phone I ever had was my Nokia N95. I don't care. I've sold my iPhone now. I've just got a simple brick phone. It's still a kind of a smartphone, but it's not a proper smartphone. Yeah, it's a Nokia, funnily enough, and it runs on the old Symbian system.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, it'll do me.
what taught me about extortion was in 1984 when I had an Atari 800 XL and I put my fist through the keyboard and I broke the keyboard circuit board. And it was going to cost like £140 to get it fixed. So I asked the next question, how much is the part? He said £3.50. So I said to him, send me the part. And after that, I just knew what extortion was. You know what I mean? It was like, wow. It was a bit of a wake-up call.
Yeah, but that's what you can ask for knowledge. That's what knowledge is worth. That's what it's worth, knowing that stuff. That you can put a price to it, and that's why knowledge is so important to everything.
It is, yeah. I mean,
That's why I think the internet is definitely a blessing, but also a curse.
I mean,
Because you also get to learn a lot of stuff you didn't necessarily want to know. I didn't necessarily want to see beheadings and all that shit.
no.
I
can't really do with
Oh, I do. No, it's funny. But we,
you perv.
as humans, everyone, well, I don't know about everyone, because I'm sure some people don't, but we all have the urge to go and see that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, okay.
human destruction is something that you want to see, even though you don't. Because don't get me wrong, I don't agree with it, and I don't. Do you know what I mean? But I don't mind watching it. I've got no issues watching a bit of gore like that because it shows real life. That's the thing. That shows reality, and it shows you, especially when a lot of it is raw footage as well. And if that was like mainstream media, they would just cut all of that out. Do you know what I mean?
where you're coming from. What I'm gathering, your point of view is you want to see the other side of what is actually going on.
Very much so.
It is very shocking. I mean, the most shocking thing I ever watched was Everyday News in Thailand. I thought I was watching Saving Private Ryan. Honestly, it was like, first day there, I got a shower, and as you do, bang, telly on, don't you, as you get in. Oh, telly, put it on. You don't care about it, Yugoslavian, Czechoslovakian, Taiwan, whatever, you don't mind. The picture on the bottom. You know what I mean? That was time ago. Banged it on. Comes in the shower, come out to a guy, right, walking up a railway, picking up pieces of a man, putting him in a carrier bag. I'm like, what the friggin' hell's going on here? And that's just normal news in Thailand. I'm like, what the frig is going on? I was like, that's what I call proper news. Not pumping it up, reading off a slate. Got some guy there on the phone, or something was another guy now, picking some shit up off a railway track, you know what I mean? That's real news. It's not pumped up at all, it's live. Just to say, thanks for joining us up. I know I said I'd give you the opportunity last Friday evening to bring up your couple of things went on last Friday evening. We didn't actually get round to doing one. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and how are you? Oops.
I'm saying, mate, how are you? How is everyone? Good to hear you. There ain't been a lot happening for like the last week. I was worried everything was alright.
No, we just a couple of things happened, and I weren't really prepared. And he just threw a suggestion towards me. I said, yeah, fine. But that suggestion didn't actually carry on. Whereas,
Your line is breaking up a bit, Dean.
I think Kip actually ended up with his lady all evening, didn't he? Or something like that.
Yeah, that happened, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Damn those women. Hey, look what I got today. Look, talking about taking things apart, right? I'm stripping this down at the minute and making it better. Look at that. Have you ever seen a cool lathe like that before?
Uh-huh.
What's that, a lathe?
A lathe, yeah.
Watchmaker's lathe, man. Look, it's tiny.
Cool.
I would say that's a micro lathe, isn't it?
That's right, yes, it's my lathe, man, yeah. I got it today from a job I was doing. I'm swapping it for an old laptop.
Oh, can I have it?
I was going to say, microwave is not to be confused with microwave, by the way, guys.
Yeah. Oh, no. I want it. Sorry. See, this is a totally different kind of a geek. We're geeks in like building things, where you got like a geek in technology and computer-wise. Things like this, you can make things, you can walk away and think, I've just done that. Innit?
Oh, mate, there's nothing more satisfying than finding out how something works and then making your own. Oh, that's just the best.
I don't know whether you come across my message to you today on YouTube.
I wasn't aware, no.
I actually sent you a private message today. At the moment,
Go on, so, carry on, mate. Sorry, go on.
I've just done one of the lads brought me home though over to me and completed it. Got that up and running. Fine. But I've dropped on to my own. I've got a seat. It's a Dell C521. It's an old bugger. It's what I've given to me ages ago. I got it up and running quite a while ago. When I started on this, that was I started researching them. But I got into silly sites that took government side. I got blocked and burned. They actually burnt the hard drive. So I took the hard drive out, I put a new hard drive in, I've downloaded Windows XP, which is originally brought with Windows 5.1. Put it on disk, I've loaded it into the computer, done all the BIOS and to HDD loading, and it's not reading. Help. You need it. This one's been bothering me and I've been on it for ages. I don't give up me folks. I'll play with it and play with it and play with it until it's running.
So what, you've got XP installed on it?
Nothing's coming. I was getting into S12 and F8 and F2. I wasn't getting into it.
What? Oh right, okay. This is when you. But have you managed to install XP on there at all, or are you trying to do it?
Yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned that. I've got boot this. But I don't know what to do. I know you need a picture, don't you? You need is it a picture where it's all encoded in picture on Windows? I forgot what it's called.
What I was going to say is, I know that if you're trying to install XP using a serial hard drive, then you need the motherboard drivers for it. It's a pain in the arse. But if you've already managed to get it on already,
Right, let's put this in layman's terms. Yeah? Hard drive, burnt. Yeah? Took hard drive out, new hard drive. Yeah? Switched on computer, diskette, no recognised. Yeah?
oh, I'm with you now, mate. Okay.
Also, onboard battery, I can't remember, got the correct name for it, IOS battery, leaking or low in energy. Yeah? I go into BIOS, I change it over from BIOS to diskette, yeah, the disk drive, CD drive, turn it over to that for loading.
What, do you mean the boot order?
Yeah, yeah, your boot order, I've changed it over to disk, but boots up off my disk. Not when it's going along and it's saying F1 continue or F2 change BIOS. Yeah? I'll go through it all again and it carries on. But what I'm confused on is I've downloaded Windows, yeah. Obviously, it's a legit computer. I've got the stereo.
Obviously, mate.
Yeah. No, seriously. It is all legit. I have got the serial key. Yeah, it is a legit computer. And what I've done, I've downloaded it onto my computer, which is actually running at the moment, and then I burnt it from this computer to disk. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a little bit I'm confused on, because I've taken it from burning to the other computer to download. Yeah?
Well, but the thing is, what is it you download? Is it just like the Windows install? You need a Windows boot disk.
I need it. Well, it's complete blank disk hard drive.
No, but I mean, what you burn onto the disk has to be like a Windows boot disk. It can't just be like.
That's what I've got on there. I typed in Windows boot disk, pre-download, give it me. I've looked into it, all that shit. Other people, read other people's comments. Yeah, this works. Downloaded it onto my PC. Yeah, the one that's running. And then I burnt it from my from my download to disk. But from taking it after it burnt from disk to the other computer, the other computer doesn't read. This is the bit I'm confused on.
Is it actually having a look at it? Is the like CD light coming on? Is it like trying to look at it?
Everything runs. The system runs. The hard drive runs. Put the ISO drive in. It all runs. You know what I mean? It's all running. You can hear it spinning. I don't know whether I may have come across like wrong. It may read. This is, I think, possibly better me speaking, and I put the camera on the other computer while I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, whatever, mate. Yeah, go for it.
It's a bit obvious that I'm not going to do it at the present moment.
I was going to say, I don't know if live IT support is going to be really that interesting.
Well, I can't at the moment because there is actually 2 PCs running at the moment.
People in the chat are complaining this is turning into a PC help. If you got problems, please sort it at your own time and come on.
Stop wasting
I'm gonna hop out anyway. It's 2 o'clock over here. Where I'm at.
I'll message you on a.
do a private chat.
We'll sort something out.
Yeah, I'll speak to you on a better time. But the matter that you'd like to bring up, if you'd like to go ahead, crack on.
Oh, you're talking about the banks, oh man.
Yeah, that's the bank that you'd like to talk about. Yeah, crack on.
Well, if we're going to name and shame them, it's the Halifax. And I was just going to tell you the shit I've had off them. I mean, I'm actually trying to sue them at the moment. If you take out like a payday loan or something, you give them authority just to raid your bank account basically. But if you tell your bank account that you're not happy with this particular transaction going through, they've got to honour that. They can't then let those transactions just carry on indefinitely. And they didn't. They just let the money shop take 400 or 500 quid, and I only got £5 in my bank account. So no overdraft, nothing like that.
I myself, I've heard a lot about Halifax doing this with people as well.
Anyway, can I, Dave?
Dave? Yeah.
Can I just interrupt you for 1 second?
Go on.
Don't take this as an offence, but what we actually do is let Hooks have his say, and then.
Yeah, no, fine, go for it. Yeah, go for it, Hooks. Please jump in.
Right.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. What were you saying? You've heard the Halifax are particularly bad for doing this. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah. What I was going to say was, well, yeah, I've heard a lot about Halifax, but I know that the is it OFC now? They've changed their rules, saying that basically banks are allowed to do that. But I've heard quite a few stories about Halifax not honouring a customer's request when they clearly do have to. But yeah, tell us a bit more.
The point is, it's up to you when and who and how much you pay your debts off to. It's not up to the money shop to just raid your bank account. It's not up to the Halifax to go, yeah, sure, just take how much you like, even if it's not there. So I said to him, like, we've got to sort this out. You've got to refund these transactions. It was the FCA rules. I mean, at the time, I didn't know they'd changed. I thought that was still the case, that if you told them that, not to do X, Y, or Z, they've got to honour it. But anyway, went to the Ombudsman, freaking total waste of time. I don't know if you've ever been to the Ombudsman. Has anyone here ever actually tried taking a complaint to the Ombudsman?
No,
I haven't either.
They are a complete waste of space. I mean, I've actually got it in writing from them, because they agreed with the bank. The reason, right, they agreed with the bank is because they said, get this, it would be unfair on the bank to give me the money back. Unfair on a bank? Is that even possible? And so they agreed with the bank, and now, friggin' insult to injury, they're chasing me now for the money that should never have been taken. So I'm now taking them to court. There's something called BCOBS, BCOBS, and when you complain to your bank, they don't put this in the little complaint reply. You'll get a little, well, you can complain to the ombudsman if you like, which is no wonder their favourite choice, because the most the ombudsman can ever award, unless there are exceptional circumstances, is a massive £150. No more. So no wonder the banks want you to go via them, even if they think you're in the right. But anyway, I forgot my point before I started ranting about that. What was I saying?
You were saying about your debt and how you'd gone to the ombudsman.
Yes,
and
right. Sorry, yes, BCOBS court action, right. Not about 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was. If ever you think your bank's behaved unfairly, it doesn't matter if it's hidden in their terms and conditions somewhere, in their, vague, generic terms and conditions. It doesn't matter. All you have to prove in a BCOBS court case is that they've acted unfairly. So it's banking code of practice or something. I don't remember exactly what it stands for. But if ever you want to take your bank to court, if you ever done anything really unfair, you can do this via the county court. And I mean, I haven't done it yet, but this is what I'm going to do for the Halifax, because they haven't got a leg to stand on. I don't think it'll get to court. They'd be mad to take it to court. But this is something that I'm going to do, and I know for a fact that a lot of other people have had success this way. And what's better about doing it this way is you can get a lot more than £150. If they've been giving you the runaround, I mean, 3 years I've been going through this with them now, and it's totting up Halifax. Then the county court can award, I think it's up to 10 grand. So it's a much better idea if the banks have screwed you over, and let's face it, they're screwing a lot of people over.
Fucking hell, screwing a lot of people over. I don't know if you saw us earlier on in the program. It's not a program. It isn't scheduled. It isn't a TV thing. It's just us talking. Sorry, man. I'm just going back to UK Colin. Yeah, we was on about that earlier on this evening.
I did catch a little bit. You were speaking about the eviction in Nottingham. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's bad. I mean, I take it you've seen a video on that, Hudson. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, a lot of people have to go for a start to this guy's thing. I mean, I'm not that far from Nottingham. I'm planning on going down myself.
Yeah, I was talking to you about this, wasn't I? I'd love to go myself. Give me a little bit closer, actually. I may possibly join you. I do it live as well.
It seems to be that they'll just make shit up and ignore the law and just do what they like and take whatever they like with no recourse. And it's about, I mean, the police aren't going to stop them, right? Their own rules don't stop them. So if none of that's going to work, we've got to do something about it. Stand up for the fuckers. And if everyone did that, if everyone stood up to them and complained and took them to court and just didn't roll over and let them fuck you, basically. If people didn't do that, then there'd be less of it going on because they'd know it wouldn't work.
Exactly. That's what I say to people. You know, when I'm trying to explain what is actually going on, when they say, oh, my mortgage account, can't do this, can't do that, I'll show you where to get out of it and your house is yours after. Oh no, you can't do that. It's not right. It's not. Hey-ho. I'm showing you where. Legally. Lawful, but not legally. Lawful. I'm showing you. I just get away on your problem. You don't want to know what is your problem.
Well, it's money that didn't exist in the first place.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. That money doesn't exist until you put that signature on that piece of paper. You put that signature on that piece of paper, and there's enough things behind and something like that.
I mean, what I felt really sorry for this guy in Nottingham in that video. He's like, oh, well, you know, we paid our mortgage every month on time for God knows how many years. And it doesn't matter. You know, they'll still screw you if they can.
Yes.
I certainly see a lot more cases like this coming up in the future, especially for that generation. You know, and it's bad. It's the way I see it is they've just literally, they've just gone, they've made up the money because they've already got his signature on it, and just said, no, actually, look, you're still this much in arrears. When he has, from what I understand, he's got the proof to show that he has paid that mortgage off fully. He's even got papers that say he's paid it off fully. That because otherwise he wouldn't have been able to go to court in the first place. So they've literally just thrown it back in his face, really.
It's disgusting. I mean, this is another thing that they'll do. This is one thing that really winds me up again, actually, with banks. And HMRC are another complete bunch of bastards for this. They will, like this guy said, he didn't owe any money, he didn't have any arrears, and he said that they magically found like over £1,000's worth. And what they'll do is they'll just retrospectively fine you for things, and these fines, where does that come from? Where does that money come from? They're just making shit up on your account, and it's completely fraudulent. How can that be legal?
Yeah, no, it's an absolute joke, and I myself, I've shunned all my debts, mate. I've shunned them all. Every single letter I get, every single letter, apart from my bank, yeah, which is, well, my building society, which is nationwide. That's the only loan that I'm paying because it keeps my accounts open. Because I don't know if you know this as well. If you've got a loan with your bank, there's a clause in it that says that they can close your accounts down if you don't pay. I don't know if you know about that, but
No, I've not heard of it.
Yeah, there is a clause in there. If you had a loan with your bank, there is a clause in that says that they can shut your account down and take funds from your account. Yeah, which you kind of understand because it's fair enough. Because it's
not really. It's your money, isn't it? Really, that should only ever go anywhere with your express permission.
Exactly. No, it should. But then you've got to ask yourself: is it your money, or was it the money they created out of thin air? But yeah, like I say, every other debt that I had, and I've had a fair few. I had about 10 grand's worth of debt, maybe a bit more. I've shunned. Every time I get a letter, I just send it back saying, not known at this address. Not known at this address. Do they bother me anymore? No. All left me alone because they know, because it's from the, what do you call it, credit collections agencies, that they have absolutely no power unless they go to court. Are they going to pay the £300-400 on a £500 loan to take it to court? Nah, they're not. How much do they buy that debt for? About, it's something like 99p on every £100. Something stupid. That's how much they buy that debt for. And they do buy that debt.
I thought you meant 99%, you mean 99p of it. Okay, so less than 1% you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense, man, yeah. The bite for nothing. And what
you know,
is that these are like real bloody pond, like, you know, they're real bottom feeding parasites. They're not even parasites, they're parasites that live on the back of parasites, you know. They're pathetic, and all they ever do is prey on people who obviously haven't got the money to have paid off the freaking loan in the first place. So how are they going to pay off more of the loan, plus your charges and all your other bullshit to you, when all you've done is pay fuck all for it anyway? I hate them with a passion.
You're not the only one, and I think the rest of the country is feeling the same now, because they've taken it too far with what they're doing. And as well, going back to that other case with the eviction up in Nottingham, the courts have aided and abetted in that fraud.
Exactly. Yeah. I just interrupt you for 1 second. Good evening, Delboy. How you doing, buddy?
Good evening, guys.
Good to see you again, Del.
Evening.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're fine, mate. Thanks for joining us, mate. I haven't spoke to you since we brought you back on after the little incident with Scott.
Well,
You've noticed I ain't gonna blow no steam or nothing, but we've not had him on since. It's up to him if he wants to come on. He's welcome to come back on.
for sure.
I found it a little bit out of order what he'd done, and I did actually state that. But
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's water under the bridge, and you know, I haven't been on here since that last time, but I've been in the chat plenty. It's just I heard you talking about the banks tonight, and I don't know, I've just all got me all grrr. I thought, what the hell, I'll pop on and say hello.
that's what we say. It's any subject's welcome, and I knew that hopefully wanted to bring this point up and have a good chat about it. So if you've got input, no worries. If you want to listen, no worries.
No, I mean, I think I've joined in a bit too late, because I think everything's kind of been said as as I was getting here. I don't know. I've always had a hate for the banks, and I didn't actually have a bank account for ages. But it's impossible to survive without a bank account these days, isn't it? Everything happens through your bank account.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Something's got to be done. Something's got to happen. I mean, the government, the banks, all the officials and stuff, they just make bullshit up all the time. And unless you've got more money than them and are able to hire better legal teams and the like than them, then you're just fucked.
There's a simple case around this. Is providing that we can get enough people to do it, pass it on to Commons and just and say, look, this is what we want, not what you want. You've got to have a certain percentage of a vote. Put this across, obviously. Can't remember what the actual percentage of the vote or the voice of the population is, and whether it gets taken into consideration or not is another thing. But there is a certain percentage where it's like if you've got enough signatures, it's actually got to be brought up in the House of Commons.
I don't know how other people see it. I haven't seen the chat too much, but like to me, it almost seems like it doesn't really matter how many people we get together, because you know we've seen this happen a few times now with, you know, the Iraq War. I think is the obvious one, where there was like literally millions of people flooded London, caused a right stink and a right mess, and all the politicians did was just watch and laugh at everybody, and then just go ahead and go to war anyway, and then they made us pay for it. Do you know what I mean? Or we're still paying for it. So I don't have any real answers or anything at all, but it would appear that you know, unless like half the country just says, right, we're not paying any taxes or does something that really, really hurts them, it's pretty much impossible to do anything against these guys.
Well, they knew it were anything that Camp Aston and all that. Like, they were anything when they threw 7-7 in. There's another flight to keep the ammunition running. You know what I mean? Keep all the war movers dead. 7-7 in. All the Polish terrorists.
Dean, I'm having a lot of trouble hearing what you're saying, mate.
Yeah, you're going in and out.
You seem to be, yeah. He's right. You're kind of cutting in and out, and you say a little sentence, everything will be fine, and then it'll go all wobbly for a bit. And so I'm trying to piece all the little bits together that I can hear, and sometimes I follow what you're saying, and sometimes I don't.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you. That's much more like it.
I was on the wrong audio card. I've got 3 audio cards, and it's a bit difficult. See, what I said earlier, what I usually do is set up. What I'll do is, before I come live, I'll join in with Days or Kip or whatever on the Hangout, and I'll set up all my audio and everything beforehand, so I can play all my videos and all that thing. And tonight I was gonna do a Hangout, but they hit me at 7:30, so we've been on there since 7:30.
Well, I'm glad you did a Hangout, because I don't know, I haven't seen Kip doing any Hangouts. I don't know, it must be near on a week. I don't know what's happened, whether you want to tell me or not, or whatever.
Well, nothing. Nothing's happened.
That's the problem.
No. I don't mean nothing's happened in the world.
Right.
I mean, nothing's happened between us or anything like that. It was just
people have been busy.
Just happened like that. I mean,
Life got in the way.
Well, for 2 weeks. Yeah, it's just government shite's got in my way. But Kip and that, Kip's he's got his girlfriend, so his girlfriend's got kids, so it's holidays, summer holidays. So that's what's happened with Kip.
Makes sense.
He's been a bit tied up, because he actually messaged me tonight and said, "Oh, you've not been seen around lately online. What's happening? And are you okay and all that?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just busy." So it's like the close knit of us, like me, Peter, and Days, which have been, well, originally it's been me, Peter, and Days. Sorry, it's been me, Days, and Kip from a couple of years ago that's kept together. And it's just gradually built from that.
You know, it's a nice little place to hang out. I normally just sit in the chat, I must admit.
Yeah. See,
but I have been talked into a couple of appearances.
See, but it is with us, Del. We don't have vendors. We put our points across. We don't push our points to you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's either it's like taking upon yourself to look into further what we're saying, or mainly what the others are saying. Because I'm over the last, well, from Christmas, I haven't done, apart from Yellowstone and things like that, I haven't really looked at anything, me. Not at all, and it's like more into governmental things, which I've only just started to look at.
Yeah.
You know, it's always come to me where government is a game. You may as well put a chessboard in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's how I see government. It's just games. And they're putting another puzzle in front of you to play with this while this other puzzle's going on in this side. You know what I mean? That's how I see government. I'd love to get them all against the wall. I don't care who's listening, but there's government representatives listening. I'd get them all against the wall. I'll put them in a ring.
Has the paedophile scandal been discussed tonight?
Yeah, we hit that first thing.
You hit it pretty hard, I presume. I missed all the fun, did I?
We hit that for a good hour and a half, and it got a bit. As it does, it gets. You can only talk about it for so long, can you?
Pedo-geddon.
Sorry, Hux?
Pedo-geddon.
Exactly.
Pedo-geddon.
That's Cookie's tale, I think, isn't it?
It's like I said earlier, it's like, if you look at Jimmy Savile and all that, it's like when I was a kid, sit there and I'd see him on Jim Fix-It. I'd see him sat there with a kid on his fucking knee.
How creepy is he?
Yeah, exactly. He sat there with a kid on his knee with a great big smile on his face.
But knowing what we know now, looking back at
stuff
he used to do, it's like, oh my god, what a fucking...
I mean, the thing that shocks me most is not that I mean, there's 7 billion people on the planet. There's bound to be one or two of them that's as evil as Jimmy Savile. But the thing that really shocks me is the fact that all the implications that it has within the police force and the government and all the cover-ups and everything, because the guy did a tour of the entire country in his camper van. Yeah. And he must have abused like hundreds of girls on the way around. And the police departments from all over the country must have been getting complaints from him.
Don't forget the necrophilia in the hospitals too.
Indeed. I mean, like him being given just keys to everywhere.
Do you not think? Right, a lot of it went down to the naivety of the parents. Because if you think about it, right, if you look in the in-between era, right, before our era of our parents, it was a leave the door open era.
What?
Yeah. So it was a very trusting era.
I don't think it was the naivety of the parents. I mean, the BBC was supposed to be a really trustworthy and respected society. Exactly. And if your kid was going to the Beeb, you'd be like, oh, great. They'll have a good time there, and you'd trust the Beeb. And the thing about it is even if your son or daughter came back from the Beeb and complained about it to the police, then basically nothing would have happened. They'd have just got covered up, which is a disgrace.
Didn't they?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Complain.
But there's also another aspect that was thrown in there, where children should be seen and never heard.
Well,
that's true.
I wouldn't agree with that, but that philosophy.
No, sorry, but that was actually rammed down your throat in our era.
Yeah, that is true.
Growing up.
It is true.
It was very much the first philosophy of the day, very much that.
Children should be seen, never heard.
Yeah. What I'm saying is I wouldn't agree with how that philosophy to bring your children up, but I know for a fact you're right in as much as it was what we were told, or a lot of us were told.
Yeah.
And it was wrong, and
I mean, I'm on the other side of the country than you, and you still understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, to a certain extent, I have to be right.
Well, I don't know, you see, because well, what I'm saying is that there was probably, I don't know, there's 500 cases, over 500 cases now of people that's reported Jimmy Savile fiddling them when they were a child.
Yeah, but
there must have been like 50 or 100 cases that were brought to the police and nothing had happened. Yeah. Now, if the parents had been even more vigilant and brought 200 cases to the police, or 300 cases to the police, or 1,000 cases to the police, the police would have still done nothing. It would have.
They wouldn't have made any difference. Twice, I think, they had files ready to investigate, and yet for whatever reason just decided not to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to elaborate on what I'm going to say, but I'm talking from experience. Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Not to myself personally, but it's from experience, yeah? From a person to a person that you'd never expect. And I'm not defending them. I ain't sticking up for them. Fuck all, you know what I mean? But there is a lot more behind the snide things that happen.
Oh,
there
I
is a
believe
hell
that.
lot more behind it.
As I've said before, I believe this goes all the way up to the Queen, to be honest. Not surprise me.
Yeah, it does actually.
Well, something I wanted to say.
There's a very true saying though. Sorry, Oaks. There's a very true saying. Liars and thieves always get caught out.
But how long has it, like, within, like, conspiracy circles, yeah? How long have people been saying, oh, yeah, there's pedos in government, yeah, you know, riddles with pedos? I mean, that must have been going around for, what, at least a good couple of years, at least, yeah?
Well, people were saying it before then even, but I mean, it's been kind of widespread knowledge and like plastered all over the internet for at least 2 or 3 years now. But if David Icke, I think, who everyone thinks he's crackers, has been talking about it for like 10 or 15 years, hasn't he, or more?
A lot longer, but yeah.
Yeah. So he kind of knew what the deal was, even before any of us.
Well, yeah.
David Icke spoke. Sorry, Dave. David Icke knew when David Icke first came out on TV. I believe a couple of weeks later was when he exposed it. If I remember reading an article about David Icke back then, and everyone that was. I mean, obviously when he came out with all that stuff was when they thought he was crazy and stuff, but. Yeah, David Icke, so you're looking at like 23 years, 23, 24 years, David Icke's been saying it.
Oh, yeah, he was sportsman, commentator. He had it all. He could have been living on hills in a big mansion. But you could also look at it at the other side. Has he actually been infiltrated from the elite? Which a lot of stuff that he says could actually be a bit passed down from them.
No, I think he's a good, credible guy, and I think he put his career on the line, and he kind of almost lost it, and he kind of did lose it.
But that could have also been a part of the World Stage Act, where he got booed out of England. You know what I mean?
My theory on David Icke.
It could have been. Sorry, Steve. He could have been bought because the elite had turned round and thought, wow, he's too much into realising what's actually going round, and he's letting people know. Let's offer him this, let's offer him that, let's tell him his family's going to die.
Well, considering he goes around accusing most of the royals of being paedophiles, he's not doing a very good PR job for him, is the way I see it, but who knows?
My personal opinion, of David Icke is that he has not been all out, or he's not sold himself out at all, one bit. Yes, I think he's a bit of a Fruit Loop with some of the stuff he comes out with, but I believe, like you said, Del, he put his career on the line. He was probably the first person to ever do that. Well, certainly from my time, anyway, who actually went and stood up and stood in front of, a huge crowd of people who were all laughing at him, and for him to then turn around and sell out, you know, and he does live in that stupid little flat as well. You know, that's not a made-up story. That is a genuine story. So yeah, although he's a bit nuts, I think David Icke pretty much is spot on for a lot of what he says, and a lot, excuse me, a lot of what he said back then has been realised and come true and come out at some point or other. I don't believe in all these yeah, alien stuff, but that's a whole other story.
It is mad because it's like, I'll give you an example. One of the richest ever recorded homeless men, Phil Collins. I mean, he's like a pure coin, he was homeless. I mean, it's, money's not everything, but you can also be bought. And I do actually think, this is only my own perspective of it, but you get Alex Jones, you get, I forgot his name already, bloody hell, who we've just been talking about.
Oh, yeah.
David Icke, yeah.
David Icke, that's it. Jesus. You see, people like that, I see them as, I call them shepherds for the truthers. That's what I call them. Because they shepherd the truthers to a certain point of view. You know what I mean? Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, Dan, yeah. So, like, even if it is an alternative viewpoint, as long as they control the narrative, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And then they'll start sliding the advertisements in. And then they'll start, isn't it funny, right? How, say, like, UK column tried doing similar. They got shut down. I know they're not totally trustworthy, but they did give a few good points. Well, you see other channels like TYT, you know, Turks, Pravado, other things like that. They don't get shut down for it, do they? So, what's crack? You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean,
go on, Dale.
I was going to say just briefly that my perspective on the kind of the Alex Jones thing is very different to David Icke, and I think a lot of these people are trying to do good things, and we all kind of, I think, understand the basic notion that the government is screwing us and we need to kind of do something, but we're all kind of powerless. But if we can educate enough people, then we can do something. And I think all these people are trying to do good things, but sometimes they kind of go for the sensationalist approach in some cases. And like the Alex Jones thing, when he starts selling you that fluoride protection and this protection and male vitality drops and all that stuff, for me, it really, really destroys any credibility that he may have. But there are sometimes like stories and articles on there that seem quite relevant to what's going on, and they seem very true, and he seems to have some good sources, and he has brought some good information to the table. So I don't know, but the David Icke thing, I don't know, he could have, it's difficult to accuse him of like doing things and getting bribed, because he could have had a lot more money and a lot more success and a lot more happiness and a lot more of all that kind of state security if he'd have just carried on doing what he was doing as a TV presenter. And he seems to, like, basically ever since he's kind of come out this way, he's got nothing but shit. In some cases, it's quite justified. I think he came out saying he was Jesus at one point as well.
Yeah.
So it's pretty,
Well, no, he said he was the Son of God. He said he was a Son of God, not Jesus.
what, in as much as we're all sons of gods?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, we're all
I
a son
certainly
of
think
God. What's so special about
he was
Jesus?
taken the wrong way. Going back to Alex Jones, I think a bit like what you said there, Dale, about there is some good to what he's doing and what you know, his commercials destroy it. But I think although as well it kind of loses his credibility, and it does lose his credibility on that. I think something that especially us Brits don't get is the fact that that is American culture. They have fed that kind of advertising in all their programs. Yeah, so it may have just fed in because that's the American culture. And maybe the reason he sells all those pills and stuff, health products, is because he knows that that is a huge market in America, and he feels that is the only way he can get people in. But I'm not saying, you know, that I agree with Alex Jones, because I certainly don't. On a lot of things, I think he's very one-sided. The way he portrays stuff is, you know, like, especially like with the Americans and that, he does make them out to be all dumb and stupid and everything like that. And he you know, he is extremely one-sided. He doesn't look at anything from another perspective.
I hate him. I really detest him. Down at Bilderberg last year, honestly, if there weren't as many police about, I'd lashed him more. I just cannot stand him. He's a showboater. That is all he is.
He's definitely a showboater.
Sorry.
You ever listened to him in the past, though, Dean?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So I think all of us here can say at some point during us
he has given
waking up
good
listening to
information.
him, yeah?
He has actually give good information, but I see it's fed to him what to give and when to give it. I really do. Because look at 99. What were you doing in 99? Went round shouting, "Oh, Russians are coming. Russians are invading." A lot of people forget about that. You know what I mean? Look it up on YouTube. Alex Jones, 1999. Look him up. How much of a prick he were. Running around shouting all that.
I mean, there's another thing I think that we should consider, you know, when we're listening to people's views and channels and stuff, and that is that there's a lot of people out there trying to figure out what's going on or what has gone on or what's going on with a particular incident. But because, you know, we're seemingly dealt with like a permanent string of cover-ups at the minute, then all the evidence it gets obliterated and removed and covered up and whatnot. So when we try to put these things together, we're given information that isn't complete. All the complete information is in the wrong hands. So what we try to do is put these stories together, and sometimes we get the wrong end of the stick about these things. And I think that's fair enough, and I think it's also fair enough just to, you know, just to criticise and say and to see and to point out the flaws in what their stories are. I think is enough to satisfy at least mine and most people's curiosities of the corruption and the skullduggery that's going on. But when we're trying to piece together the information about what happened on, say, 9/11 and these types of things, it's very difficult, and we should be kind of lenient towards people getting the wrong end of the stick sometimes, because it's, you know, it's really, really tough to get a grip on these things.
Well, if this latest pedo stuff and like the files going missing, if that doesn't at least pique a few people's attention, then nothing's going to, is it?
I agree.
But I tell you what, if people don't wake up after listening to Ev, which is a very big if, the proper evidence comes out about this case and how much it's been covered up. If people don't wake up after this, it's stupid. It's stupid. I mean,
well, I think it points to people not wanting to wake up if this doesn't make them see the truth.
Exactly. It's like I keep saying to people. People come out with comments saying, "Why don't people wake up? Why haven't seen this?" I turn around and I say, "Look, we've got at least 2 generations of brainwashing to fight for. At least."
I think we've got many more than that, to be honest.
Oh, yeah,
It's been going on for, what, 150 or more years?
Oh, well, yeah. But, I mean, it was like to open where they were dropping, like, letters out of planes and things like that. That's where I see main propaganda coming in. You know what I mean? I mean, it's, beforehand, it was quite hard to pass around propaganda. It was word of mouth, wasn't it?
Well, that's what I was just about to say. I think it was with the advent of being able to distribute that information at a quicker rate, like from the aeroplanes using leaflets.
Which
doesn't bode well now, considering how easy all of us can get information like that from the internet.
Exactly. I mean, Huxley, you look at it. In the 80s, you seen a plane fly past with a banner behind it. You thought that was great, didn't you? You know what I mean? Look at it now, it's like spaceship flies past, more or less. You know what I mean? But it's just...
I mean, there's another thing that I wouldn't mind saying, because I've very recently woken up and I'm still kind of learning things. I don't know, one of the reasons I haven't popped in the Hangouts quite as much is I have realised some of my mistakes from my first visit.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And I'm trying to put them right, but I find it very difficult as a noob. But one thing I would like to say, and that is that I think we have to be really, really patient with people that aren't woken up, because there are some people out there that are just really super busy. Do you know what I mean? They barely get a chance to fucking sit down for 5 minutes and put the 9 o'clock news on or whatever. You know, and they don't know that that's a shit source to get their news from or whatever. You know, they've got 2 kids, they've got a job, they're working 10 hours a day, and a high maintenance missus or whatever. You know, and it's very difficult for them to get a grip on this stuff. They're just caught up in everyday life. And then there's other people that's doing very, very well out of the situation, and they just don't want to wake up. Do you know what I mean? I think you've actually got to want to
running out of this situation.
Yeah, and I think with people that don't want to wake up, the tactic I'm taking anyway, and that is I'm just going to prod them a little bit here and there, and just drop a few little hints and things in. And then if they want to ask more about it, I can expand. But I'm just gonna put little ideas around to people.
Exactly like your main instigators, like Alex Jones. I keep going to say Alex Higgins, but Alex Jones and your David Ikes. That's who I see main shepherds, because they're a known name. They're more likely to be bought people to put their point across. So the elite are saying, right, here, this is what you're saying, there's your money. You know what I mean? If you actually look behind, especially Jones, if you look behind all these sponsors, mainly Israeli.
Well, everyone's paying everybody off, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing that really kind of struck me really hard the other day. Is literally everybody is paying everybody. You know, even to the point where, you know, the middle classes are paying for like you know, the poor people, and the middle classes are paying for the rich people. The middle classes are paying for the bankers and the governments and the police and you know, are literally paying for everything.
But you're paying for the middleman. That's all it is. It's a middleman all the time, isn't it? It's a middleman. That is it.
So,
I mean, it's just stupid. It's like the government get us into debt, so we pay for it. There's no need for armies. No, there's no need for all that shit.
Would somebody care to educate me on the UK column? I'll tell you what I know, and then you can fill the blanks in if you would be so kind. Because I'm a newbie, basically, I came across the UK column. So my cat's decided to poke her head in here. I only came across the UK column when it closed down. Literally the day, well, it closed down. And then I've watched the videos since. I think there's one on a car, and there's one where they're on the beach, and one on a wall. But what was the UK column like prior to it getting closed down? Was it a good source? How often did they broadcast and all that type of stuff?
I don't know. Would you like jumping on that one?
Hello. Yes. What we're talking about, UK column?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just nipped out, but I'll let her speak first.
I thought they were good.
They did actually give some good information out.
I'll try it and give something here, because although the UK column YouTube is no longer operating, they do still run off their website, and they do shows daily. So I believe they're about 1 PM.
Yeah.
Okay. And so if you do still want to check them out, just go. I believe it's ukcolumn.org.
Yeah.
I've been to their site. I just haven't caught them on a live broadcast. I haven't been there at 1 in the afternoon.
You can still do your catch up of it, but what I was going to say, you could actually look at it in another point of view, where it was actually a publicity stunt. So we are now shutting down our YouTube channel, so you can only catch us on uk.com, ukcolumn.org. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, but the little I've seen, they seem like genuine guys. I mean, for what it's worth, it has brought them a fair bit of publicity, because I heard about it off this show. Actually, I think you were discussing.
Yeah,
on the show.
We do actually talk about UK column a lot, because they are quite good, but a couple of us had that point that I've just actually said, that it could actually be a point where you want more viewers, because the viewing, if you actually look at the viewing rates and everything, it did actually go down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at the day they closed down and said, we're going to do an open report on such and such time at such and such time, biggest viewing they'd had.
Cool. Well, I'm glad for them, to be honest with you, because
yeah.
they need a break, don't they?
Yeah, but also, couldn't that be a play?
It could be, but I don't think it is. I don't know. That's the feeling I get.
See, sometimes you can get enclosed in a box. Yeah.
Mhm.
Open the flaps of them box, stick your head out and look round, see what's going on, check it all in.
Well, I mean, that TV body is real, isn't it? That license, that TV licensing body. I mean, presumably we can just go on. I haven't done it, but I presume we can just go online and go to their website.
Mm.
And they are
I
government
haven't
run.
even looked at that.
Normally,
End of
but they
day,
are government run, I presume. And like, I don't know, but the governments
they
are
have
always cons, aren't
they have got government connections. Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I don't know about you.
UK column has actually got government connections. Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
yeah. Dig in.
Oh,
That's what I
well,
say.
alright.
That's what I say, Hooks. There's flaps on your box. Open them. Up round.
Them flaps.
Yeah, open up them flaps. Oh, come round and I'll put windows in your box if you want. It's up to you for open them. Yeah? I'll put your windows in, you open them. You want fresh air, you go and seek it. I'll just give you pointers. Seriously, they've got government connections.
But you reckon UK column?
UK column have got government connections. They definitely got government connections.
Have you got any links or anything that I can find out about that shit? Because
No,
I've
it's,
never heard that before.
no, it's just what you come across when you search.
Okay, I'll
You
have a
see,
little mooch.
See what you'll find with me. Right, I'll give you a certain amount. I'm not going to do all your work for you.
No, it's fine. I'll have a
You know
mooch.
what I mean? That's what I'll do. I'll give you little pointers, but I ain't going to.
Well, to be fair, I read and watch so much shit, I can't remember where to find it again.
Just research
So-
them. Research the bit. Right, you've got two major prominent names in your UK column. Research them both. Just research them, look who they've connected with and things like that. That's what I do. You come across a video and you get used to it and you think, oh, they've given me good information here. So I just type the names in and research them. Obviously now we're getting a little bit, well actually we're getting a lot more whitewash because Google, what we say is Google washed. They're blanking out a lot of information. I've noticed because Kit's been there with a live link, right? Up there, same as what we're doing now, it's been there on screen. I've typed it in while it's been there in front of me. And I've got split screen there, and on the other screen, giving me fuck all, saying it's not there. And I've copied and pasted the screen over, and it's saying nothing there. Check your spelling, check this. And that's copying and pasting onto my other screen.
I do have worries about Google, I must admit. They do seem to run the universe. Here we are on Google Plus.
This is, I keep saying this, but this is what I think's helped me a lot. Is because what I used to call myself was a seer believer. If I see it, I'll believe it. That's I've always said that about myself since I was 13, 14 year old. Yeah, whatever. If I see it, I'll believe it. You know what I mean? That's just been my attitude all the way through till now. You know what I mean? Oh, do you see that? This lad's just done that. Look at this. I mean, now, if I see it, I'll believe it. But that's just me. It's, you know what I mean? It gets you in trouble, but
Anyway, guys, I'm going to say my good nights if you don't mind.
yeah, I'm gonna.
Just before you go, I just wanted to go back to the "is at VOD real" comment you made. Now, I haven't looked too far because obviously I haven't had much time. Now, there's two things that concern me about the AppVod website. Firstly, yeah, and I know quite a bit about web building and stuff, and I'm kind of guessing Huxley does as well if he's a bit of a techie. Appvod.co.uk. okay, that kind of rings alarm bells straight away, because if it was a government body, it would have a .gov.co.uk name, and also there is no favicon from their website. And if you know what a favicon is, it's the little image at the top of the site, which is also very worrying, because it is a very basic thing that any web builder or web company would know about straight away. I did a quick run on the Whois. Everything seems to match up there, but I haven't obviously looked any further. But that was just a bit of information that I picked up on AdVod just there.
Cool.
So I don't know if any of you guys want to comment on that, and Huxley, I don't know if you can add any more to that.
Well, I'd like to add Whois is great. I like Whois. I don't even know what we're looking at. What's it called?
It's AdVod, atvod.co.uk.
Can you put a link in the Google Hangout?
No worries.
I've not heard of them actually myself, folks.
What
while
relation to?
Sorry, I just break in. While he's putting the link up, what's the best time for me to contact you, folks? Actually, leave it, because we'll have a quick chat when I go off. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, sounds.
Yeah.
There's a link in the group chat here. But yeah, like I say, I mean, I've built websites and stuff, so it's. I'm not a major expert, but like I say, a .co.uk name on a government body type,
well, everything's
corporation, if you like.
Everything's .gov, isn't it?
Everything's .gov, and like I say, there's no favicon for the site. Now, I'm using Chrome, so I don't know whether it's just Chrome, but everything else shows up, like eBay, blah, blah, blah. And a favicon is basically the little image that sits at the top in your browser. Yeah, you get the eBay image of the little handbag type thing, the Google, YouTube.
Do you mean like
Sorry.
the tab icon?
Yes.
Yeah, the tab icon.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And you're right, mine doesn't have it either.
No, that is strange.
And that, to me, is very odd. Although the Whois details do match up, but I know I can take that further. I can find out the IP address. I can find out exactly where that was registered, who registered it, and everything else.
I'd certainly be interested in knowing that information.
IP address is easy for trace. Dead simple, trace an IP address. It's what I've got at the moment is this is going to sound silly to you, Ox. I'm clicking on links here, and I'm getting no response.
But
if I copy and paste the link, send it to somebody, and then click on the link, it'll let me go on it.
What the hell, man?
You work that out. I can't understand it.
I'll do a bit more digging into that site as well, man.
Can I just do a bit of a newbies roundup, please, for my own benefit? Just because, basically, AdVod, I've supposedly, let's say, kind of forced UK Columns' hand by saying you're a professional outfit and you need to be registered. They said they don't want to be registered and they're not going to be a professional outfit anymore, so they're doing videos on benches and things. And AdVod must have government, or if they're real, they must have government backing in order to enforce the things that they want to impose upon stations or broadcasts around the UK. So there must be some government connection there if they're legit. Would I be correct in assuming that?
Yes, indeed. If they effectively they are TV on demand controllers, which effectively would be a corporation that is controlled by the government. You would expect that to be. It may not be the case, but I would assume that as well. I would most certainly assume that there has to be some kind of government enforcer that to happen.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. But I mean, if they're not backed by government, then something's just a complete fraud, basically. Either at VOD are just complete frauds, or the people who set up at VOD are complete frauds. I suppose that just amounts to the same thing, doesn't it?
Yes, and literally, like I say, with the information, that I just went searching for from your comment. Actually, I hadn't even thought about it any more than that. I just had a couple of reads to their web pages. They look professional enough, but any professional web designer, whoever created the website is really good, but there's no favicon for it. Now, that really, really worries me, because it's kind of, I mean, it's not a basic thing, but most people will want that icon, that logo, up in that box.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now, although the site looks professional,
I was going to say the site looks pretty slick,
but there are so many website templates out there. I could probably come up with a site similar in about half a day.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So that has got me kind of worried, but it needs looking deeper into, because I couldn't say for sure, not without looking really deep into the website and checking coding and anything like that. And I'm pretty tired, so it's not something I'm going to do tonight. And I've got, by the looks of it, I've got an interview tomorrow with a model. So
sounds very helpful.
So look forward to that.
Excuse me. Oh, God.
Sorry.
Sorry, that's it's when I drink fizzy pop, I get sneeze attacks, and I've drank nearly 2 litres of Pepsi with a litre of brandy.
Well, it's gone 2 o'clock here, and I've still got to sort my cat out, so I'm going to say my good night. Many thanks for the company. And,
sorry.
And I'll talk to you all soon.
I'd like
see you again, Del.
And goodbye to the chat as well.
Cheers, Del Boy.
Okay.
Cheers, Steve. Razak, cheers for staying with us. Me 42 Dogs, cheers. Blazing Stars, you've been with us all night. Thanks, buddy. Just got through them. Stevie B's with me. It's your main boys though. Is Blazing Stars, Razak, Del Boys with me. I know there's a few others though that may not have been commenting. Thank you very much for staying with us. Like we say, it's just information that we talk about and subjects we bring up. Not great if you want to look into them, you look into them. Thank you very much anyway. Good night, that's us going off here. Good night. Cheers, Steve. Cheers, Hux. Axel's off her, buddy.
I think you're still online.
Nah, we're